concession stand and exchange it for an ice cream sandwich.
Welcome to Championship Saturday at the Division II Baseball Championship in Cary, North Carolina. Today, we will crown a champion, and we start with Game 2 of the best-of-3 championship series between the Central Missouri Mules and the defending champion Tampa Spartans. Central Missouri has a win under its belt after last night's thrilling 9-8 comeback victory. The Mules will go for the sweep today, while Tampa tries to stay alive and send us to a Game 3 as the Spartans are in search of a record 10th title. Good afternoon. I'm Joe Castellano along with Brendan Gulick. Delighted to have you with us. And Brendan, we started with 8 teams from 8 regions around the country. Now we're down to a battle of the top 2 seeds, and what a game we had yesterday, and there's a schedule for today. They bumped it up a little bit with the start time because of possible rain later.
Yeah, I mean, this is as good as it gets, right? You've got not just 2 really, really good teams that have battled their way out and made it here this week, but it's kind of fun in that these are 2 of the premier programs anywhere in the country, certainly right now. You think Division II baseball, you think Tampa, you think Central Missouri, and I love the way that these 2 teams have gotten here. Tampa completely retooling its roster from a year ago. Central Missouri has been piecing it together all year. Both of them have used every guy on their roster this year. 2 amazing stories, and they're basically going to find out today who the national champion is.
Tampa had a 6-2 lead after 6 innings yesterday in Game 1, but Central Missouri, 7 runs in the last 3 innings. Let's hear the call of the grand slam in the 8th inning by David Johnson.
It's this one in the air with some carry.
So David Johnson, the hero there with a grand slam, and it led to the win. And now Jack Scott will take the mound, the sophomore for Central Missouri, 4-1, 4.28 ERA. Here he's made 2 starts, and he has no decisions in those 2 starts. 2.89 ERA with 9 1/3 innings here in Cary. Brennan, he's pitching on 2 days rest.
You know what? You're going to win a national championship today. Everybody's ready. I don't care if your arm's going to fall off, right? This is what you dream about. You tell Coach, hey, I can get you for at least a little bit. And in Jack Scott's case, I think they're hoping for maybe a little bit of length from him. So Central Missouri's in a great spot, even if it's just mentally, because of what they used yesterday in that comeback win. They did not throw their top 3 relievers. Jack Scott's their best pitcher. Boy, this is setting up nicely for UCM.
So the lineup there put out by head coach Joe Urso. Jordan Williams to lead it off, switch hitter batting left. Scott ready, first pitch of the game, bluff to bunt. There's a called strike, and we are underway. We have 6 umpires. Tom Swoboda behind the plate, Cody Allen Brand at first. Donovan Strobel is at second, Mike Payton at third. John Bennett, the left field umpire. Frank Endel is in right. Count 0-2 quickly to Williams. And it is a beautiful day. We have a lot of white clouds over us, but no rain clouds right now. 84 degrees at game time. 0-2 pitch. Fouled back as Williams stays alive. Always dangerous. He gets on base. He leads the country in stolen bases with 78. Yeah, yesterday, Central Missouri, they used 6 pitchers. The 6'4 right-hander with the 0-2, down and away. 1-2 to Williams. Scott from Olathe, Kansas. And the stat that really matters the most about Scott is that Central Missouri has won each of his last 13 appearances. The 1-2 pitch, it's fouled at the plate. It remains 1-2.
Their offense has been really, really solid this week. I think as a pitching staff in general, Central Missouri's been okay. They got knocked around a little while early on, but they've been generally able to out-hit their problems. How about this? 10-1 in the postseason. That's incredible.
That's incredible. 2-2 now to Williams. Both of these teams can put up runs. Tampa, they've scored 58 runs in the 6 games here, 4-2 record. Hitting .303 as a team. And they have set a record for most home runs in this tournament with 15 home runs. Consider the fact that each of the last 2 years, there's been 22 total home runs in this tournament. Well, Tampa has 15 by themselves out of the 40 home runs hit in this tournament.
Which is pretty remarkable because that's not really who Tampa's been this year.
Yeah. Scott ready, the 2-2 to Williams. Outside, 3-2. Scott throws fastball, cutter, slider, curveball, and changeup. Saladino and Urso to follow Williams. Payoff pitch on the way. High ball 4. Not what you want to do there. Walking Williams, never a good idea because of the 78 stolen bases. Although, you know, Brennan, yesterday he stole second, but then he was caught trying to steal third.
That was a bit strange. Back-to-back pitches. Almost wondered if on that second one he just didn't get a great jump. He was extremely aggressive, but national stolen base leader. Can't ignore him.
Chase Heath, the catcher, has a great arm. Here's Nico Saladino. He squares the bunt, pulls it back, and takes a strike 0-1. He's hitting .308, 5 homers, 57 RBIs. There's a couple of homers and 8 RBIs in this tournament. Tampa 53-10 under Joe Urso, who's won 6 titles. There goes the runner. Popped up foul, third base side. Steal, long run. Tobel coming over. Tobel there. Got it. And Williams goes back to first. One away. Here's your defense for Central Missouri. Vance Tobel in left. Will Kriskowski in center. Isaiah Keller around in right. Jacob Steele at third base. The freshman double play combination that we've enjoyed watching. Cole Kreisel at short. Grant Hollister at second. Chase Wilcox at first base. And I mentioned the catcher, veteran Chase Heath. Here's J.D. Urso, Joe's son, who liked to win a ring. He did not win one last year. He was at the University of Miami. He has played for the Spartans before. Now trying to join his dad as a champion. There goes the runner. Swing and a foul to plate. 0-1, so Williams will go back to first base. Urso hitting .366. 9 homers, 66 RBIs. In this tournament, he's hitting .375. 9 for 24 with a home run and 4 RBIs. Good defense over at third. Well, Williams has been on the move. Let's see if he takes off again here. Being held by Wilcox. Good lead. Throw to first. Back in safe is Jordan Williams. He impacts the game so much with that speed, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, you can't ignore him. You've got a guy out there that has stolen 78 bases. You almost expect that he's going every time he gets on.
Big lead again. Not going. Pitch outside, 1-1 to Urso. Scott in his career 9-3. Just pitched on Wednesday and threw 90 pitches against Lenore-Rhine. There goes Williams. Ground ball, shortstop. They stay out of the double play. Kreisel throws out Urso. 2 down. Now Williams in scoring position at second. Braden Woodburn will climb in, hitting .364. 8 homers, 55 RBIs. Second baseman for Spartans. Got a home run here and 3 ribbies. Carry. Sun is behind the clouds now. A little breeze blowing out towards left. It's humid today. Williams leads at second. A swing and a miss. 0-1 to Woodburn.
It is smoking hot outside today. I know the temperature's only in the mid-80s, but I'm telling you, it is a very hot, sticky day.
And that pitch did not count. That's a balk. Williams will go to third on the balk by Jack Scott. He seems befuddled by that. He thought he came set long enough. Look.
Boy, I don't know. The home plate umpire didn't make that call. He was actually pointing to the second base umpire who made the decision. That's Colin Strobel.
Called strike, and it's 0-2 to Woodburn. Scott had his season high 8 strikeouts last Friday against Northwood. trying to get his first K here. 0-2 to Woodburn. Breaking ball way outside, and it's 1-2. Villegas is on deck. This is a very deep lineup that Tampa has. In fact, both teams go all the way through the lineup, and everybody can contribute. Infield playing Woodburn to pull. Outfield is towards right a little bit. The 1-2 in the dirt, stopped nicely by Heath. 2-2 the count. You always have to be careful as a catcher because there's a lot of room between home plate and the backstop. And you've got a blazing speedster at third base in Jordan Williams. Nice stop right there by Heath. And you want to give your pitcher confidence that he can throw a breaking ball in the dirt, and you're going to stop it. But Heath is a veteran, very accomplished back there. 2-2 to Woodburn. Check swing, pitch just missed outside. He did not offer, and it's 3-2 now to Woodburn. Scott working hard here against Woodburn. The payoff pitch. Outside, ball 4. 2 walks in the inning for Jack Scott. Walks were a problem yesterday. 8 walks for the 6 pitchers and a couple of hit batsmen. Tampa did not come through and win. And here comes Edgardo Villegas. Villegas hitting .335, 4 homers, 48 RBIs. And a home run yesterday in 3 driven in game 1 of this championship series. Runners at the corners, 2 down. 3 homers in the tournament. Takes just outside 1-0. He has 11 RBIs, more than anybody, and he's 10 for 20 in this tournament. Shortstop Kreisel playing him almost straight up the middle. 1-0, look out. Almost got behind Heath quite a bit, but he was able to corral it. 2-0.
You can make the argument he's been the best hitter here. Technically, Chase Albus from Stroudsburg was 6 for 10 in his 3 games, but Villegas over 6 games, 10 for 20 with 11 ribbies, a triple and 3 homers. This kid has been really tough. He's hit with some power. And a little bit of a smaller guy. They've asked that the towel goes on the back of the mound there.
Williams at third, Woodburn at first. 2 down here at the top of the first inning. Scott has definitely lost the strike zone recently. The 2-0 pitch. Hit in the air, center field. Kriskowski back in front of the warning track, and he hauls it in for out number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 left on base. The end of 1/2 inning, the score. Tampa 0, Central Missouri coming to bat. Alongside Brendan Gulick, I'm Joe Castellano. That's Jake Stipp on the mound, the left-hander for Tampa. As the Mules come to bat in the bottom of the first of a scoreless game. He's had a great year, 12-0, 2.89 ERA. It'll be his 17th start, his 2nd start here. How about the outing that he had against UT Tyler on Tuesday? A complete game, 4-hitter while facing elimination. Didn't walk anybody, gave up 1 run, struck out 7. Through 95 pitches, and here he is on 3 days rest.
And he's their number 3, right? I mean, we're talking about a guy who is capable of doing that with some regularity. And he's a number 3 guy in their staff. It just goes to show Tampa's pitching staff is absolutely loaded. And that doesn't mean that they're going to pitch, to their potential. If you're Central Missouri, you just say, hey, listen, I got you yesterday. You only got to win 1 out of 2 today. I don't care if this guy's been unbelievable this year or not. Let's just try to go and see if we can scratch across a few runs, because the guy they beat yesterday, Skylar Gonzalez, has been almost impossible to beat during his collegiate career. But all credit to Jake Stipp, because what he did earlier in this tournament was remarkable, and Tampa knows that their national championship aspirations are very real because they have 3 outstanding starting pitchers.
Jake against Jacob. Steele, that is. And Steele takes inside. He's hitting .374, 13 homers, 64 RBIs. You saw the lineup that's been written out by Kyle Crooks, the head coach, his 11th season, trying to win his first title. Central Missouri has won twice, 1994 and 2003. The Steel takes outside, and it's 2-1. They were the runner-up in 2021 under Crooks. They lost to Wingate in the title game. Also runner-up back in 01. Trying to get their third title. Ground ball up the middle. Base hit into center field for Steele. King plays it in, a leadoff single for Jacob Steele. He has come around and scored 10 runs in this tournament to lead everybody. And the Mules have been aggressive on the bases. They lead all the teams in stolen bases with 17 of them. See if they think about running with Steele, who has 12 steals this year in 15 attempts. David Johnson will climb in. He was the hero yesterday with the grand slam down the left field line, his 16th homer of the year, the DH. And he bluffs a bunt, takes a ball 1-0. Hitting .338, 63 ribbies. 5 of them here in Cary. What a dramatic moment. In Central Missouri, they were down 6-2 after 6 innings, and they came back to win game 1. Just stunning Tampa. Looper into right field. Villegas can't get there. Stopping at second is Steele. Back-to-back singles by the Mules in the bottom of the first inning. That'll bring up Chase Heath, who was using the same bat, I believe, as David Johnson. Why not? I mean, after he hit that
got a hit in
slam,
it, right?
Yeah, everybody wants that. He didn't come to the plate with a bat. He just grabbed the one there.
That's great. Give me that one.
Heath hitting .372, 9 homers, 59 RBIs, 9 of those runs driven in here in Cary. Tied for second among the players here. 2 on, nobody out. And he bunts third base side, a beauty. The pitcher, Stipp, throws to first in time, beating the second baseman covering Woodburn. So the sacrifice is successful, going 1-4, getting Steele to third and Johnson to second.
That's exactly how you do it. I was enjoying that Cole Russo, the first baseman, laid down flat on the ground, which is exactly what you're supposed to do if you're going to be in the way, but it still looks kind of funny. Good job by Cole Russo not to give Jake Stipp something bad to look at.
The infield will play back up the middle, and even at third, the first baseman plays in with Tobel up there. Vance Tobel takes outside 1-0, hitting .367, 21 homers and 75 RBIs. Got a home run here in Cary with 5 ribbies.
How about Jake Stipp? I mean, you mentioned what he did in his first start here in this tournament. He was also on the mound in what was basically the national semifinal 1 year and 1 day ago. He was the winning pitcher in the 7-2 win over Catawba and gutted out some really tough innings against an awesome Catawba Indians offense. So he's got some success here he can lean on as he tries to help his team get to the, if necessary, Game 3 and win a national title for what would be the 10th time in program history.
And he tries to win his second. That would break the record if they win 10 titles. They're tied right now with Florida Southern with 9 championships. Got to win this game first. That's fouled back by Tobel. 2-2. Tobel had a big 3-run homer in the game against Lenore-Rhine the other day. Central Missouri, they faced elimination after losing their second game, but man, their offense has been solid. You look at the games, even when they lost that game, they scored 9. They lost to Lenore-Rhine. 12-9 loss, but other than that, I mean, they've put together great offense. Dip out of the stretch, the 2-2 pitch. Inside 3-2. In the last 4 games, 12 runs, 6 runs, 14 runs, and 9 yesterday. Last 2 games have been wild. I mean, winning 14-10 and 9-8. 3-2 to Tobel here, the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 down on the first strikeout by Stipp.
That was a big strikeout. Tobel, one of the all-time great hitters in program history. He's 3rd on the RBI list. He's not able to scratch across the first couple runs of the game with a base hit off Stipp. He's not out of trouble yet, but that's a big one.
Now he gets to go lefty against lefty facing Chase Wilcox, hitting .282. 8 homers, 44 RBIs, one of his homers here. Takes high for a ball, 1-0. He's driven in 5 here. Steele led it off with a single. Johnson followed him with a single. They're in scoring position. Now 2 outs. Outfield straightaway. Tampa wearing the all-black uniforms with the red caps and the black bills. Very sharp look. Pitch is high for a ball, 2-0. Williams, King, and Villegas around the outfield left to right. Urso, Saladino, Woodburn, Russo from left to right in the infield, and Irigoyen is the catcher. 2 balls, no strikes to Wilcox, the number 5 hitter. Pitch. Inside and high, 3-0. Hollister is on deck. Central Missouri, record of 48-12. They've won 4 in a row, and now they're just going to put him on. So bases loaded.
Yeah, that makes sense. Might as well. Don't want to make a mistake to Wilcox. Not like Grant Hollister has been an easy out, though. You're just giving yourself a chance here to put a force play all over.
Hollister hitting .324, 3 homers, 46 RBIs for the freshman, who has 7 ribbies here in Cary. 7 for 21 at the plate. Batting in the 6-hole. First pitch to him. An off-speed pitch in the dirt, 1-0.
This there by Irigoyen. I just want to point out, I mean, we've had some really good catching and, frankly, some problematic catching in this tournament. And wild pitches have allowed runners to move up and score way too often. Got to be a good catcher today.
1-0 to Hollister in the dirt, 2-0. He has been so impressive for a freshman, Hollister. We've talked about how Indiana recruited him, and he was almost going there, but he wanted to stay close to home. I mean, he has played so well in this tournament. And sometimes they take him out for defensive purposes, but he's also made some good defensive plays. I love his swing up there. He just has a compact stroke, and he's very selective. Runners leading all around. 2-0 to Hollister, taking, and it's a called strike, 2-1.
Yeah, and I tend to think that it's not so much that they want Grant not on the field in late game situations defensively. They've got another guy in Brett Grupe who's an upperclassman and a really good glove, so just kind of sharing the playing time there.
Yeah. 2-1 pitch, lifted to center field. King overruns it. It goes over his head all the way to the wall. 2 runs are in. Here comes Wilcox. He scores. Big turn at second for Hollister. He's safe over there. But 3 runs come in. An unlikely mistake by the center fielder King, who came in, overran it, and it went over his head. 3-0 Central Missouri.
I mean, Maddox King has been so good this year. That's an almost unthinkable mistake. Tampa's also, I know it sounds silly, they're a little lucky. Grant Hollister went back to second because he missed second base, and he realized it when he was 25 feet around the bag and had to scurry back. Watch this. Oh, unfortunately, it was somebody blocking our vantage point. I mean, he literally stepped right over the top of second base and missed it.
Oh,
nevertheless, how about Central Missouri? 3-run double in the first.
That's how it's scored, but King knows that if he had judged that correctly, he would have caught it. But he just thought it was sinking. He started coming in, and he just overran the ball coming in, and it went right over his head. If he had stayed where he was playing initially, Brendan, I think he might have just caught that ball.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to understand how we misplayed that. I mean, he's been so good. Not just this week, but this season. I mean, his glove is as good as anybody on this Tampa team. He played in the national championship game last year because they wanted him out there defensively. That is a really big head-scratching mistake.
He's been brilliant out there as Kreisel takes, and he gets ahead 3-0. I mean, he made the best play of the whole tournament earlier when he went back. He jumped at the wall, crashed into the wall. He's made every play there is out there. He's got a great arm, but all of a sudden he just misjudged that. Coming in too hard, overruns it. It goes sailing over his head. He just could not recover. So it is a double. Now it's 3-1 to Kreisel.
Listen, it's not an error because he didn't touch the ball. It just made a bad route, but it's a mental error, and what it also does is force Jake Stipp to throw more pitches here.
Sure does. 3-1 to Kreisel with a runner at second. Ground ball hit hard off the mound into center field, base hit. Hollister around third. He comes in and he scores a throw over the cutoff man from King, but they do throw down to second now, and they get Kreisel to retire the side. But an RBI single and 4 runs come in for Central Missouri. Overthrowing the cutoff man did not cost them there, as the catcher Irigoyen guns out Kreisel, but he did drive in that 4th run. 4-0 Mules after 1. The lights are on even though it's early afternoon. That's because the sun is behind the clouds. It's kind of dark out here as we go to the second inning. 4-0 Central Missouri. Kevin Karstetter will lead it off for the Spartans. Man, that mistake out in center, that wasn't an error, but it was a mistake. Tampa's had its issues defensively at times. Remember that game where they made 4 errors? They've made 8 total errors in the tournament. That doesn't help your pitchers.
They've called time once more out in the field. This might be the crew chief, John Bennett. Yeah, okay, there was something going on here. The crew chief, John Bennett, down the left field line.
It's that towel.
Yeah, I guess he doesn't like having the towel out there.
Yeah, I mean, now they're taking the towel after the first pitch to Karstetter was a strike. They're just getting rid of that towel.
He was out there the whole first inning.
Yeah, is there some other problem? Maybe they didn't like the fact that Scott was going to the towel so much. I don't know. It's so humid.
Well, that's the thing. You're sweating like crazy. You're just trying to, make sure you can grip the baseball appropriately.
I'm not sure.
Or so see here now. Maybe that's part of it. Is they want to show, hey, this is a very white towel. There's nothing on it. There's nothing sticky. Nobody's trying to do anything bad here.
Maybe that came from the Tampa.
It's possible. Yeah, it could have. Well, you know what? It could have come from Joe Urso.
Urso.
He's in the third base coach's box.
In any case, Karstetter with a count of 0-1, hitting .335. Yeah, look at this towel. It's okay. There's nothing on it. But they took it out of play. Karstetter 5 homers, including that big 3-run homer in the semifinal yesterday, in that amazing comeback against Northwest Nazarene, down 5-1 in the 9th. Came back and won it. As there's a called strike 0-2 now. Or did that first pitch not count?
I believe the first pitch didn't count.
It didn't count, so it's 0-1.
That off, yeah.
And here's the pitch to Karstetter outside. So we're talking about Tampa's pitchers. Got to be tough to deal with when you had all those errors, and then that play there in the first inning, which really, that should have been the third out of the inning.
Yeah, and ultimately, look, it didn't burn Jake Stipp too badly, although it did ultimately cost them 4 runs because of the 3 on that play and, the subsequent RBI. So I'm not talking about it from a runs perspective, but I'm thinking just overall workload. Look at what Central Missouri has to deal with, and look at what Tampa's got to deal with. It was just luck of the draw that Central Missouri was able to play their semifinal game a couple days ago. Tampa didn't because it got rained out and pushed to yesterday. And so Tampa, in order to win the national championship, after losing last night the way they did, Tampa's got to play 4 games in 2 days, back-to-back doubleheaders. And that's an awful lot on your pitching staff. Central Missouri played 1 game yesterday, and they may only need to play 1 game today, depending on how it all goes. As
Scott strikes out Karstetter. That's the first strikeout of the game for Scott.
So I'm just thinking about it from the perspective of, like, listen, if you're Tampa and you're trying to manage your bullpen, you're trying to figure out how you want to work your pitching staff, everybody's got to be available, but it's a day where fatigue could set in somewhere along the way, and giving extra outs and 4 runs like that, I mean, that could absolutely be the difference in the game.
Tampa will try to come from behind this time. It was the Spartans who had the lead yesterday. 1-0 to Cole Russo. Hit 7 hits here and 23 at-bats. 2 homers and 5 RBIs. Well, he's hitting .299 on the year, 9 homers and 40 RBIs. He still has the bandage on his forehead as that pitch is way high, 2-0. Because the other day, he swung and he fouled one that went straight from his bat into his forehead, underneath the bill of that helmet. Somehow, the helmet might have been flying up when he was swinging, and it just hit him right there. And he left with an ice pack, but he didn't miss any games. He came back yesterday as Tampa played 2 games, and here he is again. So even with that grueling schedule, with a bandage and probably a big bruise on his head, Russo has been able to continue. He's not the only one who's banged up in this tournament that just keeps on playing.
Yeah, I mean, this time of year, man, nobody's 100%. You know, there's a big difference between being hurt and being injured, and everybody's just trying to figure out a way to make it work. Late enough in the year, you're running on adrenaline and some hopes and dreams on a day like today.
So now Scott, I mean, to have a 4-0 lead, that gives you a lot of confidence as a pitcher. Just throw strikes, although he did fall behind 3-0. Now it's 3-1 to Russo, the pitch. Line shot, base hit into center field. So Russo continues to swing the bat well. A 1-out single, and that'll bring up Irigoyen.
Tampa has generally done a pretty good job of responding offensively after they make a mistake out in the field. And they haven't made a ton of errors. They've made 8 this week, but obviously 4 of those came in one awful game. The rest of them have been scattered and maybe a bit more run-of-the-mill for the Spartans, but usually they're able to respond. I know nobody wants to get to the plate more quickly than Maddox King does.
Here's Joander Irigoyen, who takes the ball 1-0. The Tampa catcher hitting .319, 4 homers, 36 RBIs. Remember, he made that bad throw to third, trying to pick off a runner that at the time seemed like a really bad mistake defensively. At the plate, he's 6 for 16. He swings and misses 1-1. He has split time with Santiago Garavito. Irigoyen has a home run and 5 RBIs. Everybody in the lineup has at least 1 home run in this tournament. Matching the record 15 homers in the tournament in Tampa. Runner at first, 1 out. Pitch. Hit in the air, right field, hit well. Keller going back under it. He's got it in front of the warning track, and back to first goes Russo. 2 down. Gave it a ride the other way, but not deep enough. Here comes Maddox King trying to redeem himself after the mistake defensively. The bottom of the first inning. .269 average, 3 homers, 29 RBIs. When you think about Tampa, they're so capable of coming back. 6 times in this tournament, they've scored 4+ runs in an inning. That includes the 5-run bottom of the 9th inning in the semifinal clincher yesterday. Pitch outside, 1-0. I mean, you credit them for the home run by Karstetter that tied it. But eventually, the way they won was so devastating for Northwest Nazarene, and that pickoff throw to first that got away and allowed Tampa to dramatically win that game. The ups and downs, swing and a miss, 1-1. I mean, you win that way, and then you lose after having a 4-run lead after 6 innings in Game 1 of this championship series, and now this. Just a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, you got to handle your emotions. I mean, it really is a long, grueling week that takes a lot out of you, and frankly, as much mentally as physically.
Base hit to right for King. Russo stops at second. 2 on, 2 outs. And now the top of the order, and Jordan Williams, who walked his first time up.
This is a bit bizarre, but Jake Stipp, the starting pitcher for Tampa, is throwing in the bullpen.
We did see that one other time where a relief pitcher did that for Tampa, so maybe it's one of those deals where they just don't like their pitcher to get stiff. It feels like a long inning.
Yeah, but this hasn't, I mean,
it's not that long.
The fourth,
right.
5th batter of the inning. I mean, this isn't some crazy long thing, and
I agree.
It is a hot day outside.
I know. Williams skies one left field. Tobel towards the line. Settling. Out number 3. No runs for Tampa on 2 base hits. They leave 2. They've left 4 on base already. We go to the bottom of the second. Central Missouri 4, Tampa nothing.
No errors and 2.
There it is, the National Championship Trophy. Playing the first ever best of 3 championship series. Central Missouri won the first game. They took it by a score of 9-8, and now trying to join that list. If they can come up with a sweep and win this game. Of course, Tampa winning last year, the recent champions. Tampa trying to win back-to-back. It hasn't been done in the D2 championship since 06-07. But they have a tall order now. Down 4-0. Here are the Mules trying to add to their lead with Keller, Kriskowski, and Steele 8-9-1 in the order against Stipp. Keller hitting .303, swings and misses 0-1. He's 12 homers, 59 RBI, 6 of them here.
6 of the RBIs, not 6 of the homers.
Yeah, sorry about that. 6 RBIs here.
That would be that'd be something.
No.
Keller hit 6 home runs this week.
59 RBIs, 6 of them here.
That said, we've seen a ton of home runs here this week.
Yeah, we have.
I mean,
40.
Double what we normally see.
Yeah. That's outside, 1 and 2.
I mean, it got started right on day 1. Those first couple games of this tournament, it was home run derby.
It really was. We had 6 of them in that first game with Lenore Ryan and East Stroudsburg. Stipp, a career record of 19-1, 12-0 this year. Check swing, pitch inside. Did he go? No, he did not, says Mike Payton on the appeal. It's 2-2.
You think, okay, this is your 8-hole hitter. That's not a typical 8-hole hitter. I mean, Keller's got some pop.
Yeah, 12 homers. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. That was perfectly placed. And that is the second strikeout for Stipp, and that's why he was in the bullpen in the last inning. Wanted to find him.
Well, it's an excellent location. Nice pitch. Got Isaiah looking.
Will Kriskowski comes up, hitting .340 with a home run and 19 RBIs. This is the equivalent of you being on a course, maybe on the 3rd or 4th hole, and then all of a sudden you go to the driving range and start hitting some drives.
Yeah, that's
right.
That would be a wild thing
if they allowed you to do it. Yeah, but you're allowed to do it.
Hop off the course and say, you know what? I'm just not quite ready. I think I got to go get dialed in from 98 yards.
But you're allowed to do it here, so why not? All right, one away.
It's more convenient because the bullpen is literally next to the dugout. If that bullpen was all the way out in the outfield,
yeah, that would be hard.
I don't know that you'd have seen that.
0-2 to Kriskowski, checks his swing, and then the pitch misses outside. 1-2 to Will, hitting .340 this year with a home run, and that came here in this tournament. He's got 6 RBIs here out of his 19 on the year. The 1-2, swing and a miss at a breaking ball, and Stipp has found something. He has K'd both batters to start the second.
Top of the order, third baseman Jacob Steele.
A couple of really good ones there. And Kriskowski, no chance. Back to the top with Steele.
Jacob Steele, a single and a run scored in the first inning. It went hard up the middle last time, and now second baseman Woodburn is playing him almost straight up towards the ball. 0-1 the count. Steele has been kind of a doubles machine. He has 3 of them here in this tournament. This team has been able to bang out quite a few doubles. Catch in the dirt. They have 1 in this game on that fly ball that turned into a double. And they now have 12 two-baggers, more than any team by far in this tournament. 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch to Steele. Grounded to shortstop. Saladino. 1-2-3 inning for Stipp. 2 in the books in Game 2 of the Division II Baseball Championship Series. Central Missouri leading the series and leading the game 4-0.
So far, so good for Jack Scott, who's pitching on short rest. 39 pitches through the first couple of innings. He has stranded 4 Spartans, including 2 in scoring position. Could this be the final Division II baseball game of the year? We'll find out here shortly. If not this one, the next one guaranteed to be such. 2, 3, 4 in the Spartan order as we go a second time through the batting lineup against Scott. We'll see if the Spartans have any better success. Saladino leads things off. Fouls one down the first baseline here. Saladino, Urso, and Woodburn scheduled to bat against Scott. Big deep breath there from the tall right-hander. A sharp grounder, 2 hops to the second baseman. Hollister takes care of it, 1 out.
I don't think any deficit phases Tampa to begin with coming into this tournament. But after they won that game the other day against Northwest Nazarene with the 5-0 deficit late and then 5-1 in the 9th, I mean, anything's possible.
Yeah, you just kind of tell yourself, hey, we're in the game, we got a shot. You never know, and you got to play it all the way through. Central Missouri was in serious trouble last night, down 6-2 after 6. They didn't stop believing. They scored 2 in the 7th inning. RBI hits from Kriskowski and from Chase Heath. They hit a grand slam in the 8th inning from Davin Johnson just inside the foul pole down the left field line is Urso with a bit of a Sunday hop to Kreisel. He makes a nice throw on the run, 2 gone. And then they added an insurance run in the top of the 9th inning when Kreisel had an RBI ground out. That inning was ultimately only 1 across, although Central Missouri did have 2 on with 1 out. It looked like maybe they were threatening for more, and wouldn't you know it, it was a 1-run ball game by the time it wrapped up. Braden Woodburn walked his first time up. He takes a ball. Hopefully by now you know what happened last night, but in case you missed the 9th inning, that was pretty wild. Edgardo Villegas opened the 9th inning against Jake Wilson against Jack Kreisman by homering to right field. And then Wilson came in the game. Jake trying so hard to summon the strength he needed to get through 1 inning because he was in tough shape last night. It's been a long week on these guys, and everybody's bodies are a little beat up. And it didn't go great right from the outset. Karstetter singled. He had Cole Russo come up with a base hit. 2-1 pitches. Torched into right center. That's down. Good job by Kriskowski to cut it off in the gap. And it's a 2-out single for Braden Woodburn. And the most wild play late in a game. Santiago Garavito was supposed to be the hitter, but they pinch hit in the bottom of the 7th inning Joander Irigoyen, who is equally as good offensively. And Irigoyen hit a very long fly ball to the wall in left center field with runners on the corners. And it looked off the bat like it was probably going to be a home run. And it just ran out of steam, as this is a called strike to Villegas. So it brought home Karstetter from third on the sac fly, but A.J. Graham, who was pinch running for Russo, got doubled off at first base. And that killed the rally as Lenny Ashby, the pinch hitter for Maddox King, struck out to end the game. And gave Central Missouri an unbelievable comeback win, 9-8.
Yeah, that looks bad on paper that you got doubled off at first, but one thing to remember is that Graham wanted to try to score the tying run. That ball hit off the wall, so that's why he went around second base.
Runner bluffs. The 0-2 is hit on the right side, and a good job by Hollister to get over to it. That was a really quick inning for Jack Scott and the Central Missouri defense. Looked around a Woodburn single, but otherwise 3 groundouts, and Scott is cruising right now. Middle of 3, 4-0 Central Missouri as they look to win a national title. Jake Stipp. We go here in the bottom of the third inning. The son of Jeff and Holly Stipp. And the brother to Jordan and Kayla. Young man from Danville, Illinois. Not a big town. In a city that basically borders Indiana in central Illinois. Grew up there. He pitched elsewhere before he made his way to Tampa. He was at Danville Area Community College in 2021 and then pitched at Eckerd in 22 and in 23. Ultimately transferred last year to Tampa, so this is his second season pitching with the Spartans. He got a business degree from Eckerd and is pursuing his master's in business administration. Wishing Jake well as he delivers one that's turned on nicely. David Johnson dumps a single out into right field and starts the Mule third with a base knock.
Well, how about his last three at-bats? The grand slam in the eighth yesterday with all the drama, and then back-to-back singles to start this game.
Johnson starting to see it really well at the plate. A little bit of a slow start to the week for him offensively, but he's obviously had some pretty loud hits since then. All right, Chase Heath now, who had a sac bunt his last time up. You usually don't ask your catcher and your three-hole hitter, your team leader like that, to lay down a sac bunt, but Chase just wants to win, man. This kid is gritty and tough. 1 ball, no strikes.
That was a great bunt he had last time.
It's worth noting today that Central Missouri, in their active roster, took Jack Kreisman off the active roster today after he threw a great ball game in relief last night, 76 pitches. Yesterday's starting pitcher, Jonah Walker, is also inactive today. Tampa, a couple of notable names that are inactive, including Michael Alfonso, the closer. This one is fouled away, and of course Skylar Gonzalez, who was the starting pitcher yesterday, is added to the inactive list for today.
Watch Heath. He looks back at head coach Kyle Crooks over at the third base dugout. That's where he gets his sign, because Coach Crooks elects to not coach at third. He put a bunt on in the first inning, but not so far here. Third baseman's playing back.
Russo holding Johnson over there, and it goes over a little late. Or nothing, Central Missouri. 4 runs in the first inning, and they all came home after an inexplicable defensive mistake. Heath can't believe it. I think that hit the knob of the bat as he started to swing, stopped, and kind of had a reaction that tells you everything you need to know.
Got it. Watch this. He checked his swing.
Oh, it actually hit the handle of the bat. Okay. Not intentional, but now Chase is even in the count, 2-2. Takes that one off nicely. There's a lot of college baseball fans in this part of the country that are locked in today. Obviously, our national championship game here, and a short drive away, both in Durham and in Chapel Hill. Duke and North Carolina are both hosting super regionals this afternoon. Stipp steps off.
Johnson is 19 out of 19 on stolen bases this year, but he has not seen Stipp's move. He doesn't know him, so he's not taking a very big lead.
Woodburn at second is shaded toward the bag. There's another throw.
That's a good move. That's the one that you always are, I think, in fear of as a base runner, is when the lefty, he could be looking towards the plate but coming towards you with the throw.
Picked him off. Russo's throw is in time. Johnson went on first movement, and Stipp got him.
First time that he's caught all year. He was 19 of 19, and that was exactly the move I'm talking about. Stipp, he looked towards home plate. His face, his eyes were all towards home plate, but he's delivering to first base. And that's how you get nailed as a base runner.
So the base is clear for Chase Heath. Promptly puts one into right field for a single. Central Missouri's not having a problem hitting the ball hard. They've got 6 base hits in this game, and I can't think of a single one that was not at least hit on the barrel of the bat. No cheap hits for the Mules. So Stipp is trying to keep guys off balance, but at the moment, he's having a hard time doing that. Stipp's credit, he's keeping the ball in the ballpark. Obviously 5 singles, and the double was really more of a line drive to center field that King misplayed. It should have been caught. Vance Tobel struck out swinging in his first at bat. Just to wrap up the note on those other games, North Carolina, they beat Arizona yesterday 18-2. Home run derby in Chapel Hill. It was a big blowout. And the first game at the Duke Super Regional is scheduled here to get underway in about 10 minutes. They've got Murray State in town.
Lots of baseball around here.
It's a great part of the country for baseball, and we are so grateful to USA Baseball for hosting us in Cary here once again this year, as well as the folks from the University of Mount Olive and the Sports Commission in Cary and in Raleigh. Thank you very much for another great week. 15th year this tournament has been in this facility. It's a really special week and a great way to close the year. 2-1 is hit off the end of the bat out to right field, and it hangs up. Roberto Villegas is over, and Tobel out number 2.
Yeah, I really want to thank everybody here that's helped us out. I mean, Alex King has done a fantastic job for us. And Jeff Eisen, of course, Mount Olive.
Has been great.
Yeah, his group.
Wilcox was intentionally walked in the first inning after he saw 3 balls in a row. Then they just decided, all right, we'll put you on. And he was the 3rd run to come home on that bases clearing double. Tampa and Central Missouri trying to live in the moment. Game has been close except for one bad play. Doesn't feel, in watching the game, like it's a 4-0 contest. And I think both teams are trying to tell themselves, hey, there's a long game in front of us here. Let's just keep stacking at bats on top of each other and see what happens. Tampa knows they've got a pretty good hole here, though. Stipp's done a good job holding base runners as this ball is hit out into center field. Little carry, but kind of a lazy fly out to Maddox King. And Wilcox is retired for the final out in the 3rd. Couple of singles, but nothing doing for the Mules in the home half of the 3rd. And we are heading to the 4th. It is 4-0 Central Missouri in the national title game. Start the 4th inning. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for Tampa as the offense goes back to work with Karstetter, Russo, and Irigoyen. 4 runs on 6 hits, no errors for Central Missouri. Mules have stranded 1. Tampa has left 5. Slow chopper left side, challenging play. No throw. Jacob Steele just said, put it in the pocket. Oh boy. Kevin Karstetter is laying down on the ground. He never touched first base. They just threw over and he is out. But far more importantly, Carstetter is writhing in pain. Oh, no.
Take a look at what happened here. Carstetter, that ground ball. Looks like it's going to be an infield single. He's running hard as he can. Right there is where something happened, and he never touched first. As you said, I mean, something happened to him before he got to the bag. It wasn't while he was to reach out for the bag or anything like that. It seemed like it was just before that. Something happened to one of his legs, it seems.
I do not wish to watch that replay again. That is tough.
Hamstring
tough
area.
On your stomach.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I hope Kevin's okay.
Going so hard.
That didn't look good. And, I just think it's worth repeating. Because it is so warm and so humid, I think guys on both these teams have probably had some issues cramping up and staying hydrated this week. You can lose a lot of fluid when it's just so hot. Oh, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only thing you could hope for is that it is a cramp, but, I mean, it just looks so serious because he couldn't make it to the base.
I hope Kevin's all right.
Yeah. He was in pain.
He's trying to walk it off. It would be so disappointing for Carstetter if he's unable to continue in this game, given how impactful he was in getting his team here yesterday afternoon with that 3-run homer in the 9th inning that tied the game at 5. And the Spartans obviously walked it off just a few moments later. Evan in his first season at Tampa after transferring over from Arizona State. Didn't see the playing time at ASU that he was hoping for, and he's had a really good year. Right now, what goes out to him as he has to deal with the injury. So as it turns out, what would have been an infield single, because there wasn't even a throw, ultimately they did throw over, and tough luck would have it, that is out number 1. And so now Cole Russo has to regather himself while his teammate is attended to in the dugout. And got to take advantage of his opportunity. This Tampa roster totally reconstructed after last year when they won their 9th national championship in program history, and they were led offensively by E.J. Cumbo, the all-time Division II hits leader, a record he broke in this tournament. Led by J.P. Gates, who was ultimately named the MVP of the tournament. Gates was a fantastic pitcher and hitter. Hit a home run in the national championship final last year. 2-1 to Russo is barreled up into left center. Ruskowski running over. He's going to let the left fielder Tobel take it. 2 outs.
Yeah, you just hate to see something like that happen. I mean, all of the players on both teams feeling queasy after seeing Carstetter go down like that.
Joander Irigoyen to the plate. Irigoyen, another guy that made his way to Tampa this year. Really good friend of J.D. Urso when they played at Miami. When Joander was available in the transfer portal, that was a very quick phone call from Coach Urso. Obviously, the news that came out yesterday I think will be very interesting to pay attention. With NCAA announcing that next year Division I is trimming its rosters from 40 to 34. And they can put all 34 players on scholarship. That means that 6 players per team everywhere in the country are not going to be on an active roster. That probably means we're going to see a lot more really good Division I players that are looking for places to play next year. This ball is rocketed right at the center fielder, Kriskowski, for the final out of the inning. Irigoyen is retired. Tampa goes in order. So that probably means we'll see an even higher level of D2 baseball a year from now. And Division II fans are looking forward to seeing how that goes. And these 2 teams have taken advantage of those situations for sure. All right, middle of the 4th inning. Tampa trying to regather itself after a tough injury and a 4-0 deficit. Well, if you turn your head upside down, you can read that says Spartans.
Hey, that's the new look. That's the new look around town.
Wearing one of those?
I am.
Okay. Make one into my suitcase. All right, we're going to the bottom of the fourth inning. Tampa trailing Central Missouri 4-0. If you joined us a little bit late, happy Championship Saturday. Brendan Gulick, Joe Castellano here too, and we've got our entire production crew ready to give you wall-to-wall coverage today as we have all week. Whether we have one or two games today. Right now, Central Missouri with a 1-0 series lead has a 4-0 lead. And this guy, Grant Hollister, is at the plate when Maddox King's mental error, allowed 3 runs to score. It was a bases-clearing double. And a ball hit straight away to King in center field that he charged in on and realized he overplayed. He couldn't catch the ball. It was hit over his head, went all the way to the fence. Hollister cleared the bases with a double. The next guy up, Cole Kreisel, singled home Hollister. So it was really ultimately a 4-run miscue that would have otherwise ended the inning. That's the difference in the game. As Jake Stipp misses 4 straight pitches, and the Mules have a leadoff base runner.
You know, that is the hardest play for a center fielder, the one that's hit straight at him, because it's really hard to judge whether or not it's sinking or rising, and King just did not judge it.
Mentioned at the outset as Cole Kreisel climbs in here. Mentioned right away at the beginning of our show that these are the 2 most consistent programs in the country right now. And it feels appropriate that they're playing for the national championship. You got to earn your way here. It's not just gifted to you. It's not anybody's divine right to be playing here, as Coach Crook said at the beginning of the week. Central Missouri is 10-1 since the NCAA regionals started. Tampa 10-3. Lost a couple extra games along the way. But if you look at the overall performances, it's really impressive. Obviously, Florida Southern has also won 9 national championships. But Tampa's accomplished something here this postseason that maybe hasn't gotten enough credit. They now have won more NCAA tournament games than any program in Division II history. Stipp's pitch cut on and missed. At the start of the tournament, Tampa had 150 wins, 69 losses. As you look at the Kreisel strikeout, with the 10-3 record, they're now 160. 72 all-time regional, super regional, and national championship tournament play. 160-72 over 39 years. Florida Southern, who was knocked out in regionals this year, including their 2-2 record, they're now 155-84. So they've played more games, but they've lost a few more than Tampa over the years, and Tampa now has more wins. Florida Southern's been in 44 national tournaments, Tampa 39 of them. Those are the 2 winningest programs in Division II history. There are only 2 others that have more than 100 wins, as Keller did not hold up on the appeal. And one of those 2 is Central Missouri, the 3rd winningest program. The 10-1 record this year, they're now 136-70. 35 NCAA tournaments all time. The championship wins, they've finished runner-up twice. A 3rd place finish 4 times, and 2/4 for the Mules. Tampa, of course, tied with the Mocs for 9 titles. They've also finished runner-up twice and 3rd twice. One attempt from Keller, and he pulled back. He didn't pull back quickly enough. 1-2.
Yeah. So if Central Missouri wins, they would be tied for the 3rd most titles. Let's see, did he go after that? Debatable.
Yeah, kind of.
But when Central Missouri won, they beat Florida Southern in 1994, and when they won in 03, they beat Tampa, 2 teams that have won the most.
Juggernauts have been here as Keller swings through strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Jake Stipp. 2 gone with Hollister at first, and here is Skowski.
The breaking stuff working there.
The only other program in Division II with 100 wins in NCAA postseason play is Delta State. They've won exactly 100 games. Great program over the years.
We saw them here several years back. They had a great following. They got to the championship against Westchester in 2012.
Not a big lead for Hollister at first after Stipp has already picked off Johnson and showed a good move a few times with other guys over there.
Westchester won a couple of times, 2012 and 2017, in more recent years.
And Rams out of the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. Right. Pretty good team. PSAC has sent teams here repeatedly. This year it was East Stroudsburg. Last year, Crimson Hawks from IUP. A lot of good teams in the PSAC over the years. Millersville, another one. 2-1 as the Mules are looking for a little cushion. Pitch there from Stipp.
East Stroudsburg gave us one of our dramatic moments. Walk-off grand slam by Raffenhausler.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, beating Northwood.
Greatest Warrior player in history. Delivered in the biggest moment when they needed it. It was pretty awesome. Only had 2 walk-offs this week. That one and the one yesterday afternoon that was equally as dramatic, but more of a self-inflicted mistake and ball put in play. 2-2 is a check swing roller to Russo. It's scooped up, steps on the bag without any issue. Leadoff walk to Hollister, and he can't move up. And the Mules go quickly after that with 2 strikeouts and a ground out. 4 in the books. Tampa trying to get the bats going next here as we go to the 5th. Central Missouri leads Tampa 4-0 in the national championship game. Spartans come to bat. See, they are most often able to pull it out. How about that? 12th trip to the national championship. They've won 9 of their previous 11. Joe Urso reminding everybody, yeah, we've won a few of these things before. You see this enormous ring on my right finger? It's tipped back into the glove by Maddox King. I swear to you, I did not notice that early in the week. But this is 3 straight games that Joe has had a championship ring on his finger. And at third base, he's got some misses.
He's got 6 of them. I think we noticed it when he was leaning a little bit on his right side down. He was kind of getting weighed down a little bit on the right side.
I mean, it's particularly funny on a day like today. It's a good-looking pitch. You know, it's bright and sunny, and obviously we're up in the press box. We're, 130, 150 feet from where Coach Urso is. But you could absolutely see that ring catching some light, even from here without using binoculars. As King chases one out of the zone for strike 3.
How about this job by Jax? He picks up his second strikeout. He's not striking out a lot of batters, but that's a good slider right there. Just limiting his team offense, pitching well when he is needed to leave 5 men on base, and doing all of this on just a couple of days rest after throwing 90 pitches on Wednesday.
Only a sophomore, mentioned earlier, out of Olathe West High School in Kansas. Last year was the co-freshman of the year in the MIAA. 3rd team all-conference last year, and had a good showing. And as the year started this year, they figured this guy was probably going to be a good part of the Mule rotation. But as fate would have it, they've had to lean on him way harder than they expected because they've lost a couple of guys that they expected to be heavy hitters. Connor Wolf certainly chief among them. So all of a sudden, they've got a young arm on the mound who's got a really high ceiling. Throwing a lot of innings for UCM.
You know what's impressive, Brendan, is that he faced Lenore Ryan, and we know what they were capable of with their power. They set the home run record in a single season. They had no extra base hits for the second time all season in the game that he started.
3-1 to Williams is socked through the middle of the infield for a base hit. So the third trip through the order begins with a sharp single. First base hit since the Woodburn single in the third. In fact, the second time through the order, Woodburn was the only one to register a hit. Everybody else was retired. Williams aboard. He walked to open the game. Was ultimately stranded at third. Scott, by the way, 89-93 with his fastball. There's a slider, changeup, and cutter as well. Saladino 0 for 2 in the game, down on the count here, 0-1.
Get him through 5 or 6 innings. You've got J.D. McReynolds waiting in the wings, didn't pitch yesterday, although he has worked a lot over the course of recent days.
Runner breaks, pitch out. Oh my, Chase Heath dropped the ball. He wanted so badly to throw out the national stolen base leader, and they thought they had the right play on with the pitch out. Heath just moved a little too quickly for his own good.
Yeah, he just didn't have the exchange there. You're going to really have to rush it down to second base to get Williams. 79 steals now.
This ball's down the right field line, fair toward the corner. Williams is going to score easily. How about Saladino rushing for second, close play, and he's in there. Kreisel really felt like he had him, and he's looking back at the dugout saying, we've got to take a look at that, coach. As you look at the RBI double for now, and the umpires are going to get together. Kreisel has convinced Coach Crooks to challenge this call.
Keller made a great throw. Look at that throw on one bounce. That is close because the slide took a long time, and you can tell that Kreisel thought he had him. But I don't know. I mean, it seemed to me like Saladino, his body was there in time to get there safe, but it was just such a long slide. It took a long time to get into the base with his hand.
Chief John Bennett says to the folks in attendance here exactly what we just shared with you. They're challenging the safe call at second base. White batting glove hit the bag. I think at first look, I think it was just in ahead of the tag. Saladino's left hip.
Let's take a look again. We've got 2 white gloves going in.
Yeah, he's safe.
He's safe. I think he's safe pretty easily watching the replay. That glove didn't get in until way later, so they had all that enthusiasm by Kreisel, but I think they are not going to reverse this call.
All right, so Saladino gets Tampa on the board, and boy, were they desperate for the show for their offensive efforts. One more look here. Hasn't hit him yet. He's on the base. It'll be a quick. There's the official announcement.
After review, the call on the field of safe is confirmed.
The Mules still have one challenge remaining. Batter here is J.D. Urso. A runner in scoring position with 1 out and the middle of the Spartan order at the plate. This feels like a spot in the game where Tampa will try to at least make some noise. Scott's breaking ball doesn't miss by much, but it is inside, 1-0.
Urso a lot of times has seen an overshift with 3 infielders to the left of second. Not this time. They are playing in pull, but not 3 infielders to the left of second.
What a year for one of the hottest bats in the tournament. This is everything that JD ever dreamed of. He was with the team when they were here in 2021. Joe told us early in the week how much it meant to him to have JD on the roster this year. He said he was brought up on our field since he was literally a day old.
Yeah, can you imagine just hanging around this program all that time, and now he's trying to win a ring for the first time? do have action in the bullpen. Left-hander Egan Keeler, who's been a busy man for Central Missouri, is getting loose.
Joe said it couldn't be a better ending. And be able to see his son win a national championship ring. He said, no, there's a lot of truth to it. We say it all the time, but this whole family bleeds Spartan red. The Urso family is locked and loaded on Carey this week as JD tries to do his part. It's been excellent. 9 base hits on the week. Only his teammate Villegas and Lenore Ryan's center fielder Mackenzie Wainwright, who's got a really good chance to win National Player of the Year. Those two guys have more hits in this tournament as Urso takes a called strike.
We saw Eli McFadden, the pitching coach for Central Missouri. He has done a fantastic job, along with Coach Crooks, managing this pitching staff, especially the last couple of days.
Urso over the top of it, 2-2. You're right, and I'll tell you what, Central Missouri probably went to bed last night thinking, hey, if we could score early in the game 1 tomorrow, then it's lining up exactly how they would want to. Urso waves and misses at a great slider, strike 3. JD's 0 for 3 in the game.
Whatever McFadden said to Scott, it worked. He was behind 2-0, and he comes back and strikes out Urso with that devastating slider, getting him to chase it.
So it's up to Braden Woodburn to try and hang a crooked number on the board here in the 5th. Whenever Jack Scott is done pitching, some combination of Keeler, Wyrick, and McReynolds are likely to follow. There's a strike. J.D. McReynolds is probably the best relief pitcher in the country this year. I wonder how early the Mules might want to go to him. Woodburn on the ground, tough play. Bobbled, Hollister got his glove on it, knocked it down, but no chance to make a throw. So at least he keeps it on the infield and prevents Saladino from coming around. 1st and 3rd with 2 outs for Villegas.
He would have liked to have a chance to make that throw to first, but he ranged way over. He just didn't come up with it cleanly, but I'm just fortunate to be able to range over there because that does save a run. He was playing towards the middle.
It was ruled an infield single. Trying to figure out who's in the on-deck circle here for Tampa because Kevin Karstetter is out of the game with an injury. Villegas takes ball 1 inside. We still haven't seen somebody emerge from the dugout. Oh, Russo standing on the top step. He's in the hole at the moment. Wow, caught the top of the zone, 1-1. Karstetter, when he got hurt, was not immediately clear who would take his place because he's the DH in the game. Villegas, a bouncing ball toward the shortstop. They'll throw to first base and end the inning. Tampa leaves runners on the corners. They have stranded 7 in their first 5 innings. But Nico Saladino with an RBI double gets the Spartans on the board. As we hit the middle of the 5th, it is 4-1 Central Missouri. Central Missouri fans with shirts on that say "Roll Stable." Of course, that's their team mantra. Program that has just been so impressive over the years. Williamsburg, Missouri is not terribly far from Kansas City. The Mules have fared well here in Cary. How about both of these two teams coming through the losers bracket? Despite the fact they're ranked number 1 and number 3 in the country and came in as the top 2 seeds in the tournament. Central Missouri started off by beating an excellent pitcher, Tyler Sager from Northwood up in Michigan. 5-3, but then lost in a slugfest to Lenore Ryan, 12-9. They've won since then. Stroudsburg 12-8, Lenore Ryan 6-2, and then 14-10. Yesterday's comeback 9-8. That's a heck of a run in consecutive elimination games.
Yeah, up until yesterday's. To win 4 games in a row here is impressive. The whole season, really, it's impressive when you think about the injuries that they've had. They lost 3 of their top pitchers. They had injuries. Connor Wolf, Nate Hall, those guys are not here. Evan O'Toole was out for about a month. He's pitched here. And then you had Chase Heath, who was out for about 6 weeks or so with a broken hand. And, of course, he's really an integral part of this.
That's a well-struck base hit. Jacob Steele beats the shift by hitting it over their head. A leadoff single for the Mules in the 5th.
So overcoming adversity certainly has been a key for Central Missouri. Very resilient.
Jake Stipp has pitched better than the numbers would indicate. He's given up 4 runs. They're all earned, but, well, none of them should have scored. This has been a well-played game, about halfway through. Left on left, David Johnson at the plate. He shows bunt. He gave away his plan as Stipp picked to first base. Russo at third is creeping. Little infield back, Russo holding the runner. Johnson, that's a tough pitch to bunt. High and tight, Russo flips it over to Woodburn. Good pitch, good bunt, nice defense. That was good baseball.
Not easy to get down a bunt like that in that fashion. But he did a good job. By the way, in the bullpen is right-hander Eli Thurman, Tampa. Those starters have been able to go this far.
How about this? They've intentionally walked Chase Heath, bring up Vance Tobel. Want to put force play intact. Heath has swung a good bat this week. Not that Tobel hasn't. Most teams wouldn't even dream about putting 2 on for Tobel. But Stipp has had Tobel a little off balance with a strikeout and a lazy flyout. Double play could end the inning. This takes upstairs. Talking about a guy that's hit just about as many home runs as any Mule ever. And he's got more than 200 RBIs in his career. That's top 3 in program history.
Number 22 wants number 22 as far as homers this year.
1-1.
Hit his 21st home run against Lenore Ryan as he took Harlow deep. Starter with Lenore Ryan.
Trying to add to the Mule lead. 1-2.
That was in the semifinal game, so that was a huge home run that Tobel hit. A 14-10 win. Played pretty good outfield defense too. We saw him hang in there after he hit the wall pretty good.
Crashing into the wall right by the foul pole and messed up his knee and his ankle. Stayed in the game, made another good defensive play, and then homered later in that game. Chased strike 3. Thus far, the decision has paid off. Stipp got the better of Tobel. 2 on, 2 out for Wilcox.
Stipp, his fastball's 88, but he throws it in the right location up and gets Tobel to chase it for his 6th strikeout.
Central Missouri hoping to answer the top of the 5th inning run they allowed with a 2-out hit from Wilcox. Coach Crooks told us before the week, doesn't have to look like the Bronx Bombers. Said we usually have a bunch of guys at the end of the game that are 1 for 3 or 1 for 4, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, how did we score 10 runs? Good tempo, good rhythm, willingness, and awareness to make all the plays you need to offensively. A bunch of unselfish guys as this ball's float out to left field. Jordan Williams underneath it, and that'll do it here in the 5th. All right, we're starting to get a little bit late. Tampa needs to get it going offensively if they want their season to continue one more game. Central Missouri 4, Tampa 1 in the second game of this best of 3.
grounds crew who have made it possible.
We are going to crown a national champion this afternoon. Will it be Central Missouri, or will Tampa force an if necessary Game 3? Right now, Tampa's got to figure out how to get it going against Jack Scott. Sophomore from Olathe, Kansas, has done an outstanding job in 5 innings. 1 run on 6 hits, 2 walks and 3 strikeouts. The Spartans, a double from Nico Saladino that drove in a run in the 5th inning. That was the 2nd consecutive hit. It's the only time Tampa's had back-to-back hits today. And 5 of the 6 hits the Spartans have been singles. Got a pinch hitter here in the designated hitter spot. It's Mike Valdez. He's batting for Kevin Karstetter, who went out with an injury in the 4th inning. And he had a pretty tough leg injury on a ground out. Valdez is a really good hitter. Started in this national championship game last year. He swings a good bat. Doesn't see quite as much time in the outfield this year with Villegas playing so well, but still somebody they really like having in the lineup. Valdez takes a called strike 0-2. 289 on the season. 5 doubles, 2 triples, 3 homers. A little slow roller past the pitcher's mound, bobbled by Hollister. Valdez reaches on an error.
Man, first of all, Scott looked like he was going to glove it. He's mad at himself for not gloving it. It looked like such an innocent little ground ball. And it took a tricky hop on Hollister, and he couldn't make the play. That'll be the first error of the game for Central Missouri.
E4 brings Cole Russo to the plate. Tying run for Tampa's in the on-deck circle, so they've still got some work to do here. Russo takes a fastball on the inside corner for a called strike, and he's confirming with Tom Swoboda exactly where that hit.
You wonder how much does Scott have left in the tank? 87 pitches in this game, and 177 pitches since Wednesday. He pitched 90 pitches the other day.
Taylor made for 2. Hollister, Kreisel, got him. After Grant makes the mistake, he immediately makes up for it. Russo, a double play ground ball, erases the runners for Tampa.
Nice job. The freshman middle infielders. That's a long backhanded flip. Many times you won't see a second baseman do the backhand flip from that far away. But that was perfect by Hollister, and then the turn by Kreisel.
Glad you prefaced that as such. I'm sure our Tampa and Central Missouri fans have heard that mentioned ad nauseum, but it's a national title game. Maybe we've got some new viewers. How about Central Missouri with true freshmen playing at second base and at shortstop for a team that is on the verge of winning a national championship? You just don't see that very often.
No, you don't. And they just look smooth. We did see the error by Hollister, but for the most part, those guys have been solid.
Irigoyen has flown out twice. Did not go on the appeal.
We saw a couple of pitchers up in the pen. Aiden Smith, a right-hander, and saw Egan Keeler, a left-hander again. But once that double play occurred, they sat back down.
One ball and 2 strikes. And talk about a gutsy effort from Jack Scott. The wind in the 1-2 is too low. Central Missouri scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 1st inning on a gift. Misplayed ball in center field. Up and away. This game has basically been as tight as you would expect between the top 2 teams in Division II college baseball. And that one mistake early on has given Central Missouri a fairly comfortable lead. Still some good game to go. Sharp ground ball foul down the third baseline.
Here's the importance of getting through this inning with the lead for Central Missouri. This season, they are 36-1 when they lead after 6 innings. They've had 4 wins here, no losses in that situation. So they usually finish you off.
They do. Tampa is very capable offensively and obviously has the ability to pull off a comeback. Payoff pitch is fouled away, out of play. It's so fun to look at all of the numbers coming in, right? What somebody's accomplished, and then you think about, well, what's somebody capable of, and who's going to step up and make a play that you don't expect that might be the play that wins you the national championship. All 4. Lander Irigoyen. Good long at bat. Draws the walk and brings Maddox King to the plate.
Scotty had a couple of walks in the first inning and left those men stranded. That was huge. Had not walked anybody since. Now with a walk here, you start to wonder about him again because so many pitches over the course of 3 days. 2 days rest. So 4 days, counting today. Pitched on Wednesday, day off Thursday, Friday, and then today, and throwing a ton of pitches.
We're setting the pitch clock, and we'll start over here.
That's 96 pitches in this game.
Right now, it looks to be still pretty sharp. That breaking ball is located well. Maddox King was way out front.
That's all that matters. Forget about pitch count. Just how does he look?
Scott's fastball has continued to be right around 91. Throws another slider that King can't catch up with. That one was even lower. It's 0-2.
It's hard to lay off of that slider. That's a really good slider.
One and 2. This will be Jack Scott's 100th pitch. Just a couple days after he gave UCM some length. 90 pitches in 4 2/3 3 days ago. He almost threw it to the backstop.
That's where I think maybe fatigue does set in a little bit, where you're trying to throw a tight slider one after another. It's just hard to do it and keep your arm angle consistent when you're over 100 pitches.
King singled and struck out. Where did that miss? What a pitch. Fastball apparently outside and runs the count full.
Well, he's not going to be able to hit that pitch. Tried to have a little bit of a backdoor fastball there, like a two-seamer.
And so the runner Irigoyen is off on first movement. And it misses the top of the zone, ball 4. Tried him with a 3-2 slider. First and second, 2 outs. Back to the top now in Jordan Williams as the bullpen gets busy again.
Just kept trying to hit the outside part of the plate and couldn't do it. This is where it gets dangerous for Jack Scott.
Two outs, 2 on. Outfield, medium deep, straight up. Williams bounces it toward the middle. Hollister gloves, and he cannot throw anyone out. Frankly, that's a great decision by Hollister not to force a play. He was never going to throw Williams out at first base, and he didn't risk a throwing error that could have gifted Tampa runs.
Well, that old saying that speed comes to the ballpark every day, and with Williams, if he hits a chopper like that, I mean, you're just not going to be able to throw him out at first base. They weren't going to be able to get that runner at second base, King, who runs well. So there was no play anywhere. You're right, good decision. Now Kyle Crooks running out to the mound, wants to talk to Jack Scott about this situation with the bases loaded, 2 outs.
You ever seen a manager sprint to the middle of the mound? That is so Kyle Crooks.
Yeah, he does everything differently. I mean, he loves to be involved in everything. We saw him pulling the tarp. We've seen him picking up balls that are in foul territory, even behind the plate like a ball boy would. He just does everything for this team. Look at this. This is a real pep talk, I think, for not only Scott, but everybody on the infield.
This is exactly what Tampa was hoping for. They've got an opportunity here with their best hitters coming up. Bases are loaded. Scott is laboring here in the 6th. 2 outs. Tampa scored in the 5th when Saladino hit an RBI double. What's he going to do here? Down and in. Inning started on an error by Hollister at second. And then Cole Russo hit into a 4-6-3 double play. 2 walks and an infield hit. They've given the Spartan dugout a lot of reason to believe. 2-0 to Saladino. The bullpen is starting to get hot quickly.
The same 2 pitchers have been out there for a little while.
Saladino taking all the way. 3-0.
Probably going to be the last batter for Scott here no matter what. He just knows, hey, I got to throw a strike here.
He's at 106 pitches. 63 strikes. Grooved him one. Nico was willing to let it go by. 3-1.
Does he make him throw another strike, or does he try to attack here? Try to hit one in the gap?
Took a pretty good hack at it. Fouled it down the right field line, and now it's a full count. We've seen Scott willing to throw off-speed pitches. He's got his back against the wall, so Saladino can't just sit dead red here.
Saw Saladino with a 2-homer game earlier in the tournament, the first game in Tampa when they beat up on Felicia.
A home run here would give them the lead. The payoff pitch is down the right field line, fair ball into the corner. 3 runs are gonna score. Saladino, a bases clearing, game-tying double.
So you had the advantage of the runners going on a payoff pitch, and then he lines it just fair down the right field line. And by the time Keller got to it, there's no way they're going to have any play on Jordan Williams, who's like a track star going around the bases from first base. He scores easily as the 3rd runner there. What a clutch hit by Saladino, and that's going to do it for Scott.
Disappointing for Jack because it's erased what was such a gutsy effort. And he leaves with a 4-4 game. And Tampa has the go-ahead run in scoring position. Great work by Jack Scott, spoiled by the last pitch he threw. Tampa has leveled up Game 2 in this best. Aiden Smith on next for the Mules.
Attention, please, now in the pitch for the Mules, right-hander number 27, Aiden Smith.
6 foot, 200-pound right-hander and redshirt senior Aiden Smith coming out of the bullpen. A man who transferred in from Crowder Community College. Is on in a huge spot here out of Blue Springs, Missouri. Played at Crowder Community College in 21 and 22. This is his 3rd year with the program. He's become a reliable reliever when he's been healthy. Hasn't been able to be on the mound a whole lot this year, just 10 1/3 innings. Did see him pitch twice already this week, however. Smith's first pitch in there to J.D. Urso, a breaking ball for a called strike. He Nico Saladino just hit a 3-run double to turn a 4-1 deficit into a tie game. Smith, fastball, slider, changeup, and a good curveball. He prefers his slider. 87 and 91 on the fastball, finally feeling healthy. He's had a lot of injuries over his career. Need him in a huge way here. Urso on the ground, foul.
Smith has worked twice here, 2/3 of an inning scoreless, 1 hit, and 1/3 of an inning scoreless, no hits. On the year, it's more a problem of walks for him, 10 of them in 10 1/3 innings. As you said, hasn't pitched all that much, but he has struck out 9 in those 10 innings.
All of this Tampa damage with 2 outs. Urso's been excellent, hitting .400 with runners in scoring position this year. Come up with a hit, might give Tampa the lead. Wastes a good pitch, foul, out of play.
It's rare that you get away with walks against the Spartans, and Scott did that in the first inning with 2 walks, but this time both walks came back to haunt him in the 6th inning.
Scott gave it everything he had and worked around trouble a whole lot today. Finally burned him here in the 6th.
He did a great job. You were talking about that he just pitched on Wednesday. And to throw over 100 pitches at 90 on Wednesday. Pretty impressive.
Especially in this heat.
Yeah.
And with this pressure on you, a stage like this. Urso watched one, didn't spin enough. Upstairs, full count. Tampa stranded 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 in the 5th. Only scored 1 run in that stretch. Saladino's driven in all 4 with 2 doubles. The payoff pitch is hit high and deep to left, hooking, foul. That ball was up on the walkway, way out of here, but foul by a good 25 feet.
Wow, that was by the entrance where they have the championship trophy and the flags are flying for both schools. Hit it way out there.
Urso is such a tough out. Tampa feeling like this is exactly who they want at the plate. The payoff pitch is bounded foul again. Aiden Smith against Jack Scott, against J.D. Urso. Smith in for Jack Scott.
Used 6 pitchers yesterday. This is their 2nd today.
Strike 3 called. A fastball that painted the bottom of the zone. And Aiden Smith delivers in a huge way. Struck out Tampa's most reliable hitter. But Nico Saladino with an RB, a 3-run double, has brought this thing level at 4 apiece in the middle of the 6th. We got a brand new ball game, 4-4 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Tuning in late, Brendan Gulick along with Joe Castellano. Central Missouri with an epic comeback win last night. They were down 6-2 after 6 and won 9-8. Today they had an early 4-0 lead. And Tampa scored 1 in the 5th on an RBI double from Nico Saladino. And then they had a bases clearing double from Saladino just moments ago in the top of the 6th. They're level at 4 apiece as Grant Hollister rolls one toward Braden Woodburn. A quick put out here in the bottom of this frame. It was Hollister who had a 3-run double to center field in the first. Fired quite an early shot for the Mules. Hollister, Kreisel, and Keller against Jake Stipp. In the meantime, Jacob Fletcher is warming in the Tampa bullpen. Stipp finally got a lift from his offense to back what has been a pretty solid outing of his own. 4 earned runs, but as we've documented, those are tough against his line because Jake has pitched outstanding baseball and none of those runs should have scored. You could realistically say through 5 1/3 innings that he's given up 5 hits and no runs with 3 walks and 6 strikeouts. On the ground to second base, Woodburn. Back-to-back putouts.
Yeah, when you go back to that first inning and the bases were loaded with 2 outs, key play in the game, of course, Hollister hit that liner to center, and King, the center fielder, came in just way too many steps in, and it went zooming over his head for the 3-run double. No error, but you're right. I mean, that is a mistake, and it was not the fault of Stipp.
He catches that 999 times out of 1,000.
Oh, yeah.
Central Missouri is certainly not going to apologize for taking those 4 runs in the first inning, but if you're Stipp and Tampa, you're going, what in the world just happened? They fought back to level it up at 4. Isaiah Keller watched one miss outside. Stipp has now thrown 87 pitches, 49 strikes. On the ground, 1 hopper to Russo. 3 groundouts. Look how fired up Stipp is coming off the field. Tampa feels like they've got the Mules right where they want them. 4-4 contest as we head to the 7th here in Cary.
Alongside Brendan Gulick, I'm Joe Castellano. I want to thank everybody on our crew. Just an outstanding job throughout this entire tournament. Our directors, Jake Wright, Blake Woodard, Nick Case, our replay man, Ryan Kroom, outstanding camera people, doing jumping jacks. Trip Colbreth, Mason Hewitt, Josh Truitt, Galen Slattery, Bobby Welch, and Taylor Kavanaugh. Just wonderful throughout the entire week here in Cary, North Carolina. This is game 2 of the best of 3 championship series. Central Missouri won the first game in dramatic fashion. Now we're tied as we go to the 7th inning. Braden Woodburn leads it off and takes a strike from Smith, 0-1. Central Missouri scored 4 in the first inning. At 4-0, but Tampa has battled back with a run in the 5th and 3 in the 6th. And this is 1-1. Big 3-run double by Saladino, tying this game. Hollister got a 3-run double on the ball we talked about that was misplayed back in the first. Woodburn 2 for 2 with a walk, a couple of singles, and he fouls it back, 1-2. That's 7 hits and 19 at bats in this tournament. He'll be followed by Villegas and then Valdez in the 6th spot as the DH coming in from Harstead. Sun has been peeking in and out through the clouds. Check swing, did he go? Strike 3 called by the home plate umpire Tom Swoboda, and Woodburn did not like that call. Smith struck out both of his batters. Both caught looking, the last out of the 6th inning, and then this one here in the 7th.
Joe Urso wanted clarification down at third base, whether that was a swinging or called strike, and Tom said it was in the zone.
Ground ball first base, quickly to his right to field is Wilcox, and Villegas is out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down here in the 7th for the Spartans. Saw the bat boy there, Cooper Cooper Jimenez. He's the son of the first base coach, Jose Jimenez. And Cooper is 6 years old, and we've enjoyed watching him throughout the tournament as Valdez bats for the second time. He's got uniform on. He's got eye black on. He's even got some chains on, helmet. I mean, he looks the part of a ball player at age 6. And there's his dad. Proud papa.
One of the boys.
I mean, he's just been a lot of fun to watch. 2-0 here to Valdez.
He threw a perfect strike yesterday when he threw out the first pitch.
That was great to see. He's done strength exercises out in the outfield before the game.
That's right.
He's acting like all the other players. As Valdez takes a strike and it's 2-1.
Put the resistance band on him and he's running. I mean, it really has been a hoot.
What a cute kid. So Valdez at the plate with 2 down and nobody on. Russo on deck hoping to get a chance here in the 7th. Smith deals way high. It's 3-1. Tampa 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors. They've left 8 on base. Central Missouri 4 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. They've left 4. Valdez came in after the injury to Karstetter, and he draws a walk. So a 2-out walk, and that's been an issue for Smith, even though he hasn't pitched that much. Now Cole Russo will climb in. 1 for 3, a single. More action in the bullpen for Central Missouri, and this time around, they've got J.D. McReynolds throwing. And here comes Kyle Crooks, the head coach. McReynolds was not available yesterday, as it turned out. He has been pitching a lot. He's the closer. And, for a closer, it's pretty amazing that McReynolds has been able to get so many decisions. And they are going to go to him here. So, J.D. McReynolds, a guy who is 8-0 on the season, will come in, hoping that he can help his team to win a national championship if Central Missouri can score and win this game. We'll come out of the pen, we'll step aside. 4-4 in the 7th. J.D. McReynolds out of the bullpen for Central Missouri. Man, have they ever counted on him throughout the season. And McReynolds has been a busy man in this tournament. This is going to be his 4th appearance. 2 innings against Lenoir-Rhyne, then 3 against the same team, and 2 against Lenoir-Rhyne. Appeared in all 3 of those games against them. And he has gone 7 scoreless innings with 3 hits allowed. He has fanned 12 and walked 2. So he's been tremendous in this tournament and all year long, Brendan.
Yeah, I mean, this kid is just unbelievable. And not at all surprised to see Coach Crooks is going to go to him, earlier than you might normally see him. He's a first-team All-American closer. This kid's a real deal.
Russo at the plate. Runner at first. Called strike, 0-1. He is the real deal. And 8-0, as I mentioned, 1.28 ERA this year, 93 Ks in 56 and a third innings. Opponent's batting 151 against him. In his career, he's 21-2. That's slash foul down the left field side. 0-2 here to Russo. In his career, McReynolds has 198 strikeouts and 120 in the third inning. Valdez reached on a walk. Got him at first base. Count 1-2 here to Russo. Russo 9 homers this year, including 2 here in Cary. McReynolds, 1-2 pitch. Changeup, swing and a miss, strike 3. He got him. So McReynolds leaves a man on base, striking out his first batter. And that's 9 left on base for Tampa. Seventh inning stretch in Game 2 of the championship series. Tampa and Central Missouri tied at 4. Jake Stipp has been fantastic for Tampa. His team was down 4-0. He just kept them in the game, and now he's rolling along as he's retired 5 in a row and only allowed the 1 extra base hit, and that was a fly ball that turned into a double. Now he'll go to work against 9, 1, and 2 in the order for the Mules.
2 hitters for the Mules here in the bottom of the 7th, leading off center fielder Will Kriskowski.
Will Kriskowski to lead it off, 0 for 2, struck out and grounded to first. 6 Ks in the game for Stipp. Walk 3, 1 intentional. He's given up a total of 7 base hits. Ground ball foul on the third base side, 0-1 to Kriskowski. Kriskowski 0 for 2, struck out, grounded to first. 8 for 20 in the tournament. Steele and Johnson to follow him.
Stipp is giving Tampa everything they could have hoped for.
One attempt, he went after it and missed, and it's 0-2.
When you think about where their bullpen is at with having lost 2 games here this week, obviously won yesterday and coming through the losers bracket to get to this championship series, they've had to play an additional game.
1-2.
Central Missouri, maybe they're a little thinner in their bullpen in general if you consider overall high-end talent level, but man, Tampa has been really taxed. They needed a big start.
Hop up, and that goes into no man's land there between home and first and foul territory. It remains 1-2 to Kriskowski.
You know, and the cool thing in thinking about what could be is that you have to stay focused on right now. You have to win this game if you're both of these two teams. Central Missouri does not want to have to play a third game, even though they technically could. Obviously, the stakes are such that Tampa needs to win this game. But if you think about what could be in Game 2 of the day, I mean, it's anybody's guess. Everybody's got to be available because everybody's taxed.
Strike 3 called on the inside corner. 7th strikeout for Stipp. Fastball caught the inside corner. Second time, Kriskowski goes down on strikes.
Such a good pitch, even with a guy crowding the plate, to be unafraid to go inside. Really impressive. Jake Stipp, I mean, after he was dealt quite a tough blow in that first inning, has been basically lights out. Scattered 3 hits since then.
Jacob Steele takes a strike. He is 2 for 3, 2 singles for the Central Missouri third baseman. Came in batting .374 as he fouls it back. It's behind 0-2.
We told Joe Urso and Sam Militello pregame that their starter could get them through 7 and have them right in the thick of things. I think they'd take that every day. Still got a couple outs to go, but Stipp has been a total rock star.
One shy of his season high for strikeouts here. 0-2 on the way. Launched in the left field, but Williams seems to be under control. He's got it for out number 2. He's got under that one. So nobody on base here for David Johnson. He's certainly been a hero for the Mules. 2 for 2 today, 2 singles and a sac bunt. A grand slam in yesterday's game. That was the big blow. So he's had a great tournament too, as he takes 1-0 with 10 hits now in 30 at-bats. DH has really done the job. Stipp deals to him. It's right down the middle for a called strike, 1-1. Chase Heath is hoping for a chance on deck. Red sunshine right now on the field. Coleman Field. 400 to straightaway center and 330 down the lines in a symmetrical ballpark. No wind really affecting anything. It's a gorgeous, hot day for baseball. We have the lights on because we do have a lot of clouds around. Stipp looking for a 1-2-3 inning. Pitch. Pop foul behind the plate, out of play. 2-2 now to Johnson. 7 in a row retired by Stipp, giving up a single to steal in the 5th inning. Just one extra base hit in this game for the Mules, the double by Hollister in the 1st, and that was on a fly ball that really should have been caught. 2-2 on the way to Johnson. Inside and high, 3-2. Boy, every pitch, it's just so intense right now, I think, for the fans and for the pitchers and batters. You're in a tie game. Central Missouri wins. They're the national champs. Tampa trying to win to get to a game 3. A 3-2 pitch. Pop foul behind the plate, out of play. It remains 3-2. I mean, it's tough to keep your cool, I think, in these situations. You learn about people, right?
Yeah, you don't learn about yourself when times are good. Learn about how you handle the toughest, most pressure-packed moments. Sink to the level of your training. You don't step up to the moment.
Stipp hesitated a little bit there. Now back on the rubber. 3-2 to Johnson. No, we got time called. Pitch clock was running down. And now Irigoyen is going to go out and talk to Stipp. It was down to 6 seconds when he was about to rock into his motion. But Irigoyen is the one who called time, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right. It was a little bizarre, but ultimately that's what happened.
Chase Heath on deck. He's a guy who can do some damage. Central Missouri offense has not really been doing a whole lot since that 1st inning. And Stipp. Now everybody's ready. Payoff pitch to Johnson is on the way. Hit in the right field. Lining it up is Villegas. He's got it. Another 1-2-3 inning for Stipp, who has retired 8 in a row. And we have played 7. Central Missouri and Tampa tied at 4. Great day for ice cream here in Cary, North Carolina. Kind of between Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill. Kind of steamy out there. And this is a tight one in Game 2 of the National Championship Series. First time we have this format. Central Missouri won Game 1 in dramatic fashion, 9-8 last night. The Mules can win it all if they win this game. Tampa trying to send us to a Game 3 later on today. J.D. McReynolds came in the 7th inning and struck out Russo to leave a man on base. Now he faces Irigoyen, King, and Williams. 8, 9, and 1 in the order for the Spartans here in the 8th. Yesterday was Tampa that had the lead. Central Missouri came back after trailing by 4 in that ball game. Swing and a miss. It's 0-1. This time it was Central Missouri leading 4-0 after 1, but Tampa came up with a run in the 5th and 3 in the 6th. Tie it. The big 3-run double by Saladino. We're going 0 for 2 with a walk. Swings and misses with a mighty cut. 0-2. Scored a run in that 6th inning. 6 for 18 in the tournament with a home run. Center fielder Kriskowski playing a little bit towards right center. Infield plays him to pull a little bit. No balls, 2 strikes to Irigoyen. McReynolds deals. Strike 3 called. Got him on the outside corner. 2nd consecutive strikeout by McReynolds to start out his outing.
Just a nasty pitch. Paint down and away. Good heat. Irigoyen just froze.
Reynolds 2 days ago struck out 4 in 2 innings against Lenoir-Rhyne in that game that got Central Missouri to the championship series as King takes outside 1-0. 25 pitches in that game. 45 pitches the day before when he went 3 scoreless with 4 strikeouts against Lenoir-Rhyne. There's a strike, 1-1. This guy's been a machine out there. And he's pitched now 9 2/3 innings in Cary, no runs, 4 hits, 18 strikeouts, 2 walks. He's got most outstanding player written all over him if Central Missouri wins.
He leads the tournament in strikeouts. Just feels like he's been in there in the most clutch innings.
Pitch to King. Low, 3-1. Being a single, he has struck out. He walked and scored his last time. I'm sure he feels bad about that ball in center field back in the first inning because this kid never misses anything out there in center. He just misjudged it, a ball that was hit straight his way. 3-1 to King. Swing and a miss, big rip. 3-2. King hit a home run in the championship game last year when Tampa won it all. They beat Angelo State.
The good news for him is that he doesn't have to lose sleep over what happened in the first inning right now because he brought it back to a 4-4 tie.
3-2 to King. Outside ball 4. So a 1-out walk. And now the potential go-ahead run is on base for Tampa. And back to the top of the order in Jordan Williams. Williams 2 hits in his last 2 at-bats, 2 for 3 today. With a walk, he has scored a couple of runs, can flat out fly, so pretty much impossible to double him up. Switch hitter batting left, facing Reynolds. First pitch, a little bit outside, 1-0. I say that it's tough to double him up, but he has hit into 4 double plays this year. Oh, he hit the ball really hard right at somebody. They play him to pull in the infield as he takes low, 2-0. I mean, with some of these Central Missouri pitchers, Reynolds being one of them, you wonder when do they run out of gas? When are they on fumes because they've been so used?
I mean, I feel like both teams, honestly, are on fumes right now.
Yeah.
You know, this game is such that I guess Central Missouri has a little bit of an upper hand because they're the home team and they've got their guy on the mound. You know, and I'm not saying anything about the Tampa bullpen here. I guess I'd rather be Central Missouri than Tampa right this very second. And obviously UCM won yesterday, but I mean, both of these bullpens and pitching staffs have to be looking around going, all right, well, none of us are fresh, so somebody's got to go out and figure it out. And as a coaching staff, you're trying really hard to coach with as much feel as you are data. You trust guys are going to come up with big plays. I mean, this is what it's all about.
Bullpens are not busy right now. Runner leads at first, King. 2-0, called strike. 2-1 to Jordan Williams.
I don't think McReynolds is coming out of this game. I mean, I think UCM is selling out to try to win this first game right now. They've got it in a spot where obviously they don't have the lead, but I don't think they're taking him off the mound.
Williams takes outside, 3-1. So the Florida State transfer, Williams, trying to get on base here. After the strikeout of Irigoyen, the walk by King. Now it's 3-1 to Williams. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He threw him a changeup on 3-1. And he buckled his knees on that swing. Full count.
Jordan's a pretty animated dude. And anybody who's not a Tampa fan, maybe you haven't seen him much throughout the year. I mean, this kid, say he wears his heart on his sleeve, probably doesn't quite do it justice.
Throw to first. King gets back easily. Wonder if he's running here on 3-2. 9 steals this year.
I'm inclined to say no, only because you don't want to run yourself into a potential out.
You strike him out, throw him out, double play with the way he throws the ball. Reynolds likes the sign, ready to go. There goes the runner. 3-2. Outside ball 4. So back-to-back walks by McReynolds. And now the tying runs coming in earlier in the 6th inning. The man who made that happen, Nico Saladino, is coming up. He had the 3-run double in the 6th. He also had a double driving in a run before that. So 4 RBIs. He's driven in all of the runs. He comes up here with a go-ahead run in scoring position.
Just got to look in that bullpen. Sawyer Allen, who was very good the other day, is loosening. I think it would take something wild to pull McReynolds out of this game. They are going to go talk to him here and try to settle it down, or at least I think so. McFadden is out of the bullpen or out of the dugout.
He's looking to
I think he wants to make sure how many mound visits he has before he goes out.
Yeah, he's going to go out there. Nobody's made more trips to the mound than this man, Eli McFadden, during this tournament. And he'll talk to McReynolds, who falls behind Saladino. Man, Saladino has been clutch. The 4 RBIs today, giving him 12 RBIs in this tournament. That's more than anybody.
Well, and how cool for Nico to be playing at Tampa and playing so well. This guy, I've said it a couple times, if you're not from the Tampa area, I mean, his family is so ingrained in baseball in Tampa. Local tournament, a prestigious high school tournament called the Saladino Tournament. It's named after Nico's grandpa, and it's played all over the city.
That's cool.
Yeah, a lot of MLB guys who have come from the city have played in that tournament. Here's Nico with 4 RBIs already and a chance to give his team the lead.
2 on, 1 out. 1-0 pitch. Cranked, right field, base hit. King around third, being waved home. Keller throws into second. Oh, actually to third base. Runner stays at first, Saladino. RBI single. Tampa grabs its first lead. 5-4 in the 8th. And Saladino has driven in all 5 runs.
I mean, at some point, you just got to stop leaving the ball up to this kid. Nico Saladino 5, Central Missouri 4. And the number 1 team in the country has put up 5 unanswered in the second half of this game. And has put J.D. McReynolds on his heels. He's not out of trouble yet.
Williams at third, Saladino at first. 1 out, Urso at the plate. Infield at double play, that playing with a pull. He bunts in the air, and Wilcox is there for the easy catch. Urso is upset with himself. The safety squeeze was on, not a suicide squeeze, but Urso couldn't get it down, and that's out number 2. So he's had a rough day, 0 for 5. And now it's up to Braden Woodburn to try to do more damage. 2 for 3, 2 singles and a walk. Go-ahead run coming in after the walk to King by McReynolds. Another walk and then the single. Woodburn takes low, 1-0. Surprised that they were bunting there. I mean, they have McReynolds on the ropes here a little bit.
Personally, a little surprised, but I think it goes to show how much they value the guy that's at third base right now. They want another run.
It's high for a ball, 2-0.
And maybe J.D., because he's hit 2 groundouts and struck out twice today, hasn't seen it great. Obviously, they trust him. They thought that would be the best decision, and it backfired.
2-0 here to Woodburn. Reynolds, look out, and he does not have his location like he normally had earlier.
Yeah, you're right. And the comment I made earlier about I don't think he's coming out of the game. This is your guy. He's probably the best reliever in Division II college baseball. You want your best guys in the biggest moments, but his command is not there right now.
3-0 to Woodburn. Checks his swing. There's a called strike, 3-1. Got a left-handed batter on deck in Villegas. And as you mentioned, the left-hander Sawyer Allen in the bullpen.
Villegas is the hottest bat in the tournament, outside of Mackenzie Wainwright from Lenore-Ryan. I mean, you don't want to load the bases for this kid.
3-1. Strike called. Runner was going there, and no throw, so Saladino just given second base. Now the count is 3-2. You have 2 men in scoring position. Tampa up by 1 in the 8th inning. Pitch to Woodburn on 3-2, fouled back out of play. Remains 3-2. Tampa has to win to stay alive and send us to a Game 3 later on. Central Missouri trying to win a national championship with a win here, but now down by a run. 3-2 to Woodburn. Outside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So 3 walks in the inning for McReynolds. Do you let him continue, or do you go for the lefty-lefty matchup? Sawyer Allen and loose.
Is that a rhetorical question or a real one?
That is a question for Kyle Crooks. He is sticking with McReynolds. Here is Edgardo Villegas. 0 for 4. Fly to center, grounded to second, grounded to short, grounded to first. Bases loaded, 2 outs. The Spartans trying to break it open here in the 8th. Pop up. Left side, shortstop, Kreisel into the outfield grass area. And he drops it! He drops it! Here comes the throw to the plate. Safe. 3-run score. Unbelievable. A 4-run inning. And Tampa leads it 8-4. Villegas hit a pop-up, and the freshman Kreisel could not catch it. And everybody scored.
Oh, my goodness. How does that happen? It's not windy. I mean, the ball is obviously spinning a lot. It's a bright, sunny sky. Just gutted for Kreisel, who, off camera here, J.D. McReynolds yelled out to him and kind of pointed to the ground as if to say, hey, refocus and let's go. Get back in the game here.
Right. Here's Valdez.
Hope the freshman can recover.
Yeah, there goes the runner. He throws to second base. The slide, he's safe. So Tampa putting the pressure on there. 16th stolen base of the year for Villegas. Villegas, all he did was put the ball in play, and he gets on a drop pop-up. That was close over at second base.
Well, meanwhile, how about Woodburn scoring from first base on a pop-up that was 20 feet behind where the shortstop Kreisel is standing at the moment? I mean, it's the right thing to do as a wild pitch sends the runner around. Like, we're talking about a guy that wasn't lollygagging it, right? You never know. And to be dead sprint from first base and score.
Right, with 2 outs. I mean, he's running. But
yeah, I mean, just Tampa right now is doing the little things. They obviously had a critical mistake in the first inning. But to score 8 unanswered and be playing this hard, it's impressive.
All of the hitters who walked ended up scoring. King, Williams, Woodburn. Now here comes Kyle Crooks. So J.D. McReynolds, after that wild pitch, Crooks has seen enough. And he's going to go to the bullpen for a 4th pitcher of this game. What a turn of events. Central Missouri had a 4-0 lead after an inning. But Tampa scoring in the middle innings and now a 4 spot here in the 8th after that drop pop-up. We'll be back here in the 8th with a 4-run lead for the Spartans. Sam Wyrick comes out of the bullpen while Tampa is pumped up now after scoring 4 runs here in the 8th and looking for more. And as I said, I mean, what a turn of events when you think about one of the best relief pitchers in the country and J.D. McReynolds out there, but he leaves after an inning and gives up 4 runs, 1 earned, and 1 base hit and still responsible for a man on base. And now it's going to be in the middle of a count, Sam Wyrick coming in out of the bullpen.
That was a tough situation for Wyrick. I mean, you're down 4, and you've obviously got another runner over at third base. This inning has become an unmitigated disaster, and 4 is a steep hill to climb. 5 feels too much. Maybe it's not, but it feels like a lot.
Runner at third, 2 outs. Cold strike to Valdez, and it's 2-1. He inherited a 2-0 count. The freshman Wyrick from Jefferson City, Missouri, is out there. Tampa's put 4 on the board. Takes low, and it's 3-1. This is the 8th man to hit in the inning. Russo on deck. These middle infielders we talked about, they were so good, but each one has made an error, and that last one was crucial. Outside ball 4, so Valdez walks, the 4th walk of the inning. The Spartans hitters. Now a 9th man in this frame will bat in Russo.
I mean, it feels weird to say because the scoreboard doesn't necessarily reflect this, but I mean, Tampa has completely dominated this game. And it took a while for it to actually get to the point where they have a lead here. And you just wonder if Central Missouri, as a team and as a pitching staff, if they're just kind of running out of juice.
That's the 9th walk for the Mules pitchers. Pitch inside, 1-0. 9 walks. They had 8 yesterday when they won the game, when they used 6 pitchers. But in this championship series, to have 17 walks in 2 games, usually that doesn't get it done.
Yeah, not even close.
Called strike, 1-1 to Russo.
I mean, that game yesterday, I still don't know how Central Missouri won. I'm not saying they didn't deserve it. They won.
Grand slam.
Scored 7 runs in the last 3 innings, but I still can't quite wrap my head around how it happened.
Me neither. Swing and a miss, 1-2 to Russo. So Wyrick trying to get the job done. He has appeared 3 times in this tournament against Northwood and twice against Lenore Ryan as Russo steps out and readjusted here.
And there's obviously lots of places both teams will look back on in this game. The one that first comes to mind, though, is deciding to leave Jack Scott in to pitch to Saladino in the 6th. When Jack was running on fumes and had walked a couple and given up an infield hit, he had pitched his absolute heart out. He's thrown 190 pitches in the last 2.5 days. There's 1 pitch too many.
Russo takes strike 3 called. And the inning is over. So 9 men come to the plate. Tampa able to score 4. A pop-up that wasn't caught enabled 3 men to come in. The RBI single as well by Saladino. 8-4 Tampa as we go to the bottom of the 8th. How about Jake Stipp? He has retired 8 in a row going to the bottom of the 8th, and now he has the lead for the first time, and it's a 4-run lead. Yes, he's worked really hard, and he's thrown over 100 pitches, but it seems like he still has a lot left in the tank on 3 days rest, trying to go to 13-0 on the season if he wins this one.
I mean, Jake Stipp has been just flat out a dude today. I mean, this guy, considering what happened to him in the first inning when he should have gotten out of the inning without giving up a single run. I mean, since then, 6 innings and 3 hits. And there were 3 singles with 1 walk. He's, obviously deep into this game at this point, but still commanding the ball, different parts of the zone. What a competitor. 104 pitches already, and he's still going.
Chase Heath leading off, and he fouls it back. 0-1.
And he's obviously on thin ice too, right? I mean, look at Tampa's bullpen. They're hot. They know, hey, we've got it where we want it right now. A 4-run lead. You're late in the game. You just do what you got to do to win it.
Liner, right field base hit for Heath. So the Mules get their first base runner since the 5th inning. Start out the bottom of the 8th down by 4.
And that's the other part of it. If you're Central Missouri, like, was that a disaster last inning? Yeah, there's really no way around it. But you've had some pretty big innings offensively, and you don't need to get it all back at once. You've got 2 innings to play with. Just go up there and put some good swings on the ball because you're facing a pitcher who is fatiguing a little. Maybe he makes a mistake.
Here's Tobel 0 for 3. Breaking ball in there for a called strike, 0-1. He has struck out twice against Stipp and flied to right. You think about this staff. And you've got Skylar Gonzalez, who was the D2 pitcher of the year last year. You've got C.J. Williams, who leads the nation in wins now with 14. And you got Stipp. I mean, he's kind of in the background, but he's really not in the background if you think about a guy who is 12-0, and if he gets a win in this game, he'd be tied for second in the nation in wins. I mean, what a luxury to have him as, I guess you could say, the third starter, but it's really AAA. 3 A pitchers. It's fouled back, and it's 0-2 to Tobel.
That's why they're here. I mean, you have a rotation like that, you got a pretty darn good shot of making it this far in the tournament. Those guys have generally pitched well. Skylar Gonzalez has had a little tough luck, but even he's been pretty solid this week.
Tobel floats one into center field, just dumps it out there for a base hit. That was off the hands. Pure strength. Back-to-back singles by Heath and Tobel, the two seniors, as the Mules try to mount a rally here in the bottom of the eighth. Chase Wilcox will be coming up. So it starts to get tougher now for Joe Urso and Sam Militello, trying to decide how long do we stay with Stipp. 110 pitches.
Trusting Jake when he says he feels fine, and then you watch his body language and say, okay, do my eyes match what my ears are hearing as a coach?
Here's Wilcox, 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Takes inside corner, called strike 0-1.
The other thing that probably helps them is that Stipp is left-handed, and there are some good hitters in the Central Missouri order, and obviously there are lefties available out of the bullpen, but Stipp as a lefty is really good.
How about C.J. Williams is throwing in the bullpen right now, the starter for the most part. That one's fisted in the left center field. That's a base hit. Heath comes around third, being waved home. He scores as the throw comes in towards third. RBI single for Wilcox. Here come the Mules. Down by 3 now. 3 straight singles. The last 2 were not hit hard. But it doesn't matter. They count. And here comes Sam Militello.
Well, this is exactly what I was talking about, right? You've got the right part of the order at the plate if you're the Mules. And it would be really easy to go out and just want to kick rocks after what happened, giving up 4 runs in the top of the inning. But you got to trust that you can still do again what you've done over and over this tournament. They've won 4 straight elimination games. I mean, what they did yesterday, scoring 7 runs in the last 3 innings, you can't stop believing that you have a chance as long as there are outs to be played with.
Sam Militello, the pitching coach out there. He's been with Joe Urso all 25 seasons. Having a lengthy chat out there. I mean, meanwhile, thinking about C.J. Williams coming out of the bullpen would be very interesting.
Well, he threw yesterday 106 pitches, 60 strikes in the first game of that doubleheader yesterday. So I don't know if CJ got the right massage after, or used the Theragun, or hit the cold tub, or whatever he needed to do. But, Coach, I don't care. I threw 100 pitches yesterday. We're trying to win a national title. Give me the ball.
He has not pitched in relief at all for Tampa. All 19 of his appearances have been starts, but it's go time. Here's Hollister. He takes a ball 1-0 as Hollister is the tying run at the plate.
And remember, Michael Alfonso, their normal traditional closer, is inactive.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they can't go to Fletcher, but you see Alfonso usually as the back-end guy.
Yeah, piece it together to get to a game 3. 1-0 to Hollister. In the dirt, 2-0. Hollister hit a ball to center field, and it looked like it would be an easy play for King, but he came in too far, and the ball sailed over his head. He overran it, turned into a 3-run double. Hollister 1 for 2 today, and he has driven in 10 in this tournament in 7 games. 2 on, nobody out. There's a strike called. 2-1. Feisel on deck.
Are on at the plate.
That's right.
Drama intensifies.
Hollister's more of a gap hitter. 2-1 pitch, fouled back to the screen. 2-2. So Heath, Tobel, and Wilcox starting with back-to-back-to-back singles. The Mules have 10 hits now to 9 for Tampa. Are you entertained yet? The Mules, they want to win this here and just get the sweep of this first ever championship series. Best of 3. They won in dramatic fashion yesterday, coming back to win 9-8. Stepping off the rubber to step. That was pretty amazing. They trailed 6-2 after 6. They scored 7 runs in the last 3 innings yesterday. That grand slam by Johnson. For the 4 spot in the top of the 8th, they have a run across here for the Mules. 2-2. Ripped, left field, base hit. Getting to third base, Tobel being held up as Williams throws it in. And the bases are loaded with nobody out for Kreisel.
How can you not be romantic about baseball? Cole Kreisel, whose completely inexplicable error last inning that allowed 3 runs to score to make it 8-4, comes to the plate with the bases loaded, nobody out, already 1 in, and he's going to get to face a different pitcher. He's got his shot at retribution.
And that pitcher is going to be C.J. Williams, I believe. Joe Urso signaled to the bullpen. It is. C.J. Williams coming in. I'll tell you about what he's been doing in just a moment. 8-5 Tampa in the bottom of the 8th. Well, C.J. Williams, what an amazing guy. I mean, this guy is going to come in after throwing over 100 pitches yesterday. And he's been busy as a starter in this tournament, 1-0, 2.38 ERA. Now he's coming into a bases-loaded situation with nobody out, with his team up by 3, trying to get to a Game 3 of the championship series.
And listen, he's a first-team All-American according to the ABCA. So if you're Tampa, I understand the concept of you want to throw your best bullets, and sometimes those last outs are the hardest ones to get, and we certainly saw that twice yesterday. I'm not surprised that C.J. Williams wants the baseball and says, yeah, coach, I can get you a couple outs. I'm a little surprised that it's actually happening, that he threw 106 pitches yesterday and that he thinks he can actually go out and have his A stuff. Maybe he doesn't, but maybe he's gritty enough that he thinks my B or C stuff can be good enough. Nobody comes back and throws in a game the day after 106 pitches, not since Bob Feller was pitching.
I think maybe Randy Johnson did it once. All right, bases loaded, nobody out. Tying runs on base for Kreisel. Liner, base hit, left field. 1 run is in. Wilcox held up at third as Williams throws it in. RBI single for Kreisel. A bit of redemption. And now the Mules are within 2, and they've got the tying runs in scoring position.
I mean, it's a good hit, but it's also a little bit of bad luck for Tampa. That was not hit hard, but a seeing eye single. And as soon as Central Missouri looks like they're coughing away this game with 8 unanswered, including 4 in the top of the frame, they have 5 hits in a row to start the bottom of the 8th.
We're going to see a pinch runner. Brett Grupe pinch runs for Hollister at second base. He will stay in the game to play second, we expect. So that's 5 straight singles to start the inning. 4 of them against starter Stipp. And then this base hit by Kreisel, and here comes Keller. He's 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a grounder to first. Bases loaded, nobody out. The Mules down by 2 now. They have 2 on the board. Keller swings and misses at the first pitch from Williams. 0-1. And this is a true test. What are these kids made of at this point?
I mean, everybody's running on fumes. Everybody's tired. Everybody feels the heat of the moment. Who can lock in?
0-1 to Keller. Williams out of the stretch deals. Outside, 1-1. It's Wilcox at third, Grupe at second, and Kreisel at first with nobody out. 12 hits now for the Mules to 9 for Tampa. Mules trying to win, take the national championship. Pitch outside, 2-1. They do not want to get to a game 3. Sun is behind the clouds. Outfield a little bit towards left. Middle infielders cheating in, looking to turn 2. Willing to give up a run to get 2 outs. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. He swatted after that and missed. And now it is 2-2. C.J. Williams. Most wins of anybody in Division II this year with 14 of them.
Your fastball velo is just a tick down. That was 88. Still not too bad.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Keller, the pitch. Line drive, base hit, left center field. Here comes Wilcox. He scores. Coming around third groupie. He makes it to the plate without a throw. We are tied. We're tied at 8. Unbelievable.
I mean, who wrote this script? This is unthinkable. 6 consecutive hits for Central Missouri. It's as if they can't get it done until their backs are against the wall. They were down 8-2 yesterday and scored 7 runs after the 7th inning. Here they're down 8-4, and all they've done is hit 6 consecutive base hits.
All singles.
The Spartans look completely shell-shocked. Long way to go.
Here's Kriskowski. He's 0 for 3. 2 strikeouts and a grounder to first. He's scored a bunt, pulls it back, and takes the pitch for a ball. 1-0. The infielders at the corners were crashing in.
Tampa's well coached, and that was definitely the right defensive play. Kriskowski, though, see if he can come up with something.
4 runs in the top of the 8th for Tampa. And they had the lead by 4. Central Missouri, 4 in the bottom of the 8th to tie it. Bottom of the order doing the job. He squares the bunt, pulls it back, swings and misses. As Kriskowski had the Butcher Boy play there, 1-1. Those infielders at the corners, when they start coming in like that, you can slap it past them, but he didn't do it there. Kreisel at second. Keller at first. Nobody out. Hollister drove in a run with a single. Kreisel drove in another, and then the 2-run single by Keller to tie it. 1-1 to Kriskowski. Scores the bunt again. Bunts at third base side. And will they let it roll? They will, and immediately, as soon as it went foul, Urso wisely loved it. And now it's 1-2.
I'll tell you what, he's lucky that went foul, because that was almost a perfect bunt from Kriskowski. It certainly would have successfully moved the runners. And Will would have given that a really close play at first base. I mean, this is what Central Missouri does. It is so amazing. And you have to appreciate the mental fortitude of a team who has been on this roller coaster, up and down, losing key pitchers. You know, having their backs against the wall all year. They were expected to be a good team. I don't think anybody really thought, after losing their top couple arms, and obviously O'Toole has come back, I don't think anybody really thought Central Missouri was going to be a team that, you could pretty much just pencil them in and carry for sure. And the way they keep fighting and have won games, it's just unbelievable.
Trying to win the national championship here in this game. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Williams got him on strikes. K's Kriskowski, and that feels like a huge strikeout at this point. First out of the inning.
I was going to say, if nothing else, Tampa can exhale because they've got an out. But it doesn't get any easier here because Jacob Steele can really swing it.
8th man to bat in the inning. First 6 at singles. Steele is 2 for 4, 2 singles. Facing C.J. Williams. Right-hander checks second. First pitch to Steele. Popped up, foul behind the plate and out of play. 0-1. These guys are facing Williams for the first time. We talked about him pitching yesterday, but that was in the first game against Northwest Nazarene to get Tampa to the championship. Now he faces this Mules lineup out of the bullpen for the first time. 0-1 to Steele, a 374 hitter. 2 on, 1 out. The pitch. Outside for a ball, 1-1. Even Johnson on deck.
And C.J. Williams, I mean, you had to think he was going to factor in somewhere along the way if Tampa was going to get through the day today. But maybe only in a really short stint.
Kreisel and Keller leading off the bases. 1-1. Inside, 2-1.
You think about his journey, right? He's a Florida kid. He goes to Florida Atlantic and ultimately decides he wants to pitch at Tampa. And you dream of moments like this. You're pitching in the national championship game. He's got his back against the wall. The game potential, game-winning run at second base. No room for error.
8-8, bottom of the 8th. Liner, left field, base hit. Williams comes in and picks it up. Getting to third, being held up is Kreisel. Throw comes in, runner's hung up. Now we've got a rundown. Throw to the plate. In the rundown is Kreisel, and the ball is dropped. Kreisel scores. He scores. But they called him out. They called him out of the baseline, and he is going to be called out by the base umpire, Mike Payton. The ball came loose out of the catcher's mitt, but Kreisel is called out for being out of the baseline. We stay tied at 8, and that is out number 2.
J.D. Urso did not know, which is why he was irate. Watch this play from behind. It was a pretty good throw, obviously cut off, and for whatever reason, I mean, hard to understand. Isaiah Keller just never picked up his base coach? I don't know.
Yeah, he's just running into no man's land, and Kreisel trying to avoid the tag, but he's so far off the baseline. You can understand that call. It should be correct. But Coach Crooks is out to argue it.
He's pretty upset.
What a turn of events once again. I mean, number 8 on the mound, 8-8 game in the 8th, all 8s, and then we have a play like that where you have a runner hung up, Keller, then Kreisel ends up in the rundown. And the ball popped out of the catcher's mitt, which made us believe that maybe it could be a safe call, but he was pretty far off the line there. So you got to figure that's a pretty good call by Mike Payton, who was hearing it from Kyle Crooks.
I think part of the conversation here from Coach Crooks is, why make that call right there? And isn't he allowed to be one step into the grass if possible? The home plate umpire, Tom Swoboda, did not make a signal that the runner was out of the baseline.
You challenge that.
Yeah, I don't believe so. I think that's part of the problem.
Wow.
Crooks has said his piece, and obviously it's a tough break. Now, the reality is making that decision mid-play was particularly tough. Who knows if Irigoyen would have picked it up and been able to regather, but watch the third baseman, Mike Payton. The third base umpire, Mike Payton. He was signaling out of the baseline. The reason for the safe call from the home plate umpire was to say no tag was applied.
Right, here's David Johnson, second and third, 2 down now. And he takes a strike, 0-1. And a correction by me is that, that ball popped out of the hand of the catcher, Irigoyen. Reached with his hand, but it was all the way out. I thought far enough away from the baseline that is a good call. Johnson trying to drive in a run here, and he bounces one weakly to third base, fielded by Urso. Throw to first in time, and the inning is finally over. The Mules probably felt like they could have had a good chance to take the lead, but they do come back and tie it with 4 runs. They had 7 singles in the inning. They felt like they could do more, but a bad base running play by Keller eliminates that possibility. We go to the 9th, tied at 8. Well, fasten your seatbelts and get out your umbrella as we go to the 9th inning here for Game 2 of the Division II Baseball Championship Series. Mules, like they might be on their way to trying to end this thing and taking the lead, but they didn't. They got the 4 runs to tie, And we see Sawyer Allen as the 5th pitcher of the game for the Mules. We've seen a little bit of everything in this game, Brendan. We've seen ball misplayed in center. We've seen a pop-up drop that allowed 3 runs to score. A center field ball also allowed 3 runs to score. Then we saw a bad base running play cost the Mules a chance of taking the lead.
The roller coaster of emotions that these two teams have put their fans through and put each other through, it's just bonkers. And we're going to find out who's tough enough, long enough to try to win a national championship.
So here we go. There's a called strike.
By the way, with umbrellas out and rain in the forecast this afternoon, I don't really know what we're in for, buddy. It could be a little while.
Well, here is Irigoyen. He fouls one on the right side out of play. 0-2 to Joander. He was 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. By the way, Groupie is playing at second base now. He came in pinch runner in the last inning. He's a placement late in the game many times. Ended up scoring a run. That's fouled back. Ended up scoring the tying run. 8 runs and 14 hits for Central Missouri with 2 errors. 8 runs, 9 hits, no errors. Tampa. Each team scored 4 in the 8th. Irigoyen, King, and Williams up against Sawyer Allen. Pitches high 1-2. Allen was really good in his last outing against Lenore Rhine. 4 scoreless innings, 6 hits allowed, 1 walk, 3 Ks. That came after his previous appearance here against Lenore Rhine. He gave up 4 runs, all earned, 2 hits, in an inning and 2/3. So which Allen do we get? Ground ball up the middle, base hit into center field for Irigoyen. Leadoff single, the Tampa catcher. So Scott, Smith, McReynolds, Wyrick, and now Allen.
Now batting center fielder, Maddox King.
Maddox King, 1 for 2, a single. He has walked twice and scored twice. Well, you don't see many innings like that where both teams score 4, and you don't see many innings where you have a dropped pop-up that would have ended the inning that allows 3 runs to score. There's a bunt first base side. Fielded by the first baseman Wilcox. Goes to second. Save!
Pulled his foot.
Pulled his foot off the bag. Kreisel. He was trying to keep his foot on the bag while catching it. That throw looked like it was there in time, but he was off the base, so everybody's safe.
Yeah, I mean, they have to challenge it. You have to make sure you get it right. Central Missouri has 1 challenge remaining. There really is no choice. But I'm pretty sure this call was right.
Wide throw. Ooh, I don't know.
It's very close. And his foot is definitely moving.
I think his foot's on the bag. I think his toe was on the bag initially, and that was while he caught it, and then he kind of pulled it off. I thought he had it. I really did. I'd like to see that like 15 more times. No, but I'd like to see it at least once.
The replay obviously has to be conclusive to overturn the call because the call on the field was safe.
Take a look.
It's a little blurry here. So the ball's in his glove. Is his foot on the base there?
I thought it was.
I mean, from that angle, you can't totally tell.
Only he knows. He can feel it.
He had a camera maybe from the right field corner. Quite that way.
Conan Strobel made the call over there, the second base umpire. He was on top of it, but this is where video really gets in there. You're right about the blurriness. It kind of makes it tough to know, and you need conclusive evidence to overturn it. Honestly, I would overturn it. I'd say out. I thought he had his toes on the bag there. But
I definitely think it's closer in replay than my initial opinion watching it live. Watching it live, I would have said absolutely he pulled his foot. I certainly acknowledge that's pretty close. I don't know if we're going to be able to show a better look than that.
Huge call. 2 men on, nobody out.
It has to be a conclusive decision to overturn. All replays conducted off-site in Pittsburgh by DV Sport. These umpires are not reviewing tape themselves. The footage is reviewed and decision is made and relayed to them. Man, oh man. Both teams trying to slow their heart rates down a little bit and live in the moment here. Either way, Maddox King is safe, right? So it's a fielder's choice that allows him on. The question is it first and second, nobody out after a great bunt?
Right, because I mean, if you get the guy out at second, though, it's a big play.
Well, here's the call.
After review, the call at second base is overturned. The runner is out. Central Missouri will retain their challenge.
Wow. I mean, what a play by Wilcox. We got to give him his justice because he threw that ball to second quickly, and Kreisel did a great job, as it turns out, on video review. They reverse it and say his toe was on the bag. Sacrifice is not successful. One out, runner at first.
Yeah, I think he was saying go gadget leg or something, and he tried to stretch with all of his might and just barely apparently kept his foot on the base. Good play, Cole.
Here's Williams, a switch hitter, batting right this time against Sawyer Allen. Takes a ball 1-0. Williams has been all over the bases today. A couple of walks, a couple of singles, and 3 runs scored. Scoring each of his last 3 times up there. He takes a breaking ball down and in, and he's ahead 2-0. That's a big play, but now you got to turn your attention to Williams and Saladino on deck, who has 5 RBIs in this game. Two balls, no strikes. Upstairs, 3-0. Man, Central Missouri pitchers got a tough time of it. Walked 9 in the game. Taking all the way Williams, and he walks again. Third time that he walks. 10 walks now for the Mules pitchers, and it puts 2 on with 1 out for Nico Saladino.
How important is it now that that call was overturned? First and second, 1 out for Saladino. It's way different than bases loaded, nobody out, for a guy that has had 5 RBIs in his last 3 at-bats.
He's got 13 in the tournament to lead everybody. Goes lefty-lefty and takes a strike, 0-1. So the go-ahead run in scoring position in King, and he moves well. Williams, who can fly, is at first. They have 3 infielders pushed over to the right. The center fielder Kriskowski a little bit towards left. Shortstop Kreisel actually has been playing kind of straight up the middle here against Saladino. 1-1 the count. There they are. And he's kind of moving over. Check swing, and that's a strike.
Obviously, first at bat for him today against a lefty. They changed the way they play defense against him.
When the pitch was coming in, Kreisel was moving towards the second base side. Second base. 1-2 to Saladino. Allen deals curveball, lined left field. Here comes Tobel. It drops a base hit. King comes around third. He scores. RBI single for Saladino. What a game for him with 6 runs driven in. And Tampa takes the lead 9-8. On the play, Williams stopped at second.
Mr. Tampa Baseball. Unbelievable. Nico Saladino, 6 ribbies. He's trying to will his team to a decisive Game 3.
This was the score of Game 1. Central Missouri won that one. Throw to first. Tag. Safe. Oh, Heath throwing to Wilcox, trying to nail Saladino at first, and they're going to look at this one, I believe.
Well, he got caught in no man's land because Jordan Williams took such an aggressive secondary lead and made it look like he was breaking for third. So Nico was trying to basically follow his lead, and then Jordan stopped, and Nico got caught and went, uh-oh. My gut feeling, I think he's out. I want to see the tag, but I think he's probably in trouble here.
Could be a big out number 2 after Tampa took the lead. That's a great effort by Wilcox.
Unfortunately, you just can't tell from that angle.
I for a second thought that ball was going to be thrown down the right field line. But Wilcox kind of saved the day with a catch and reaching, trying to make that tag. But But they say the first base umpire, Cody Allenbrand, says that it was safe. And, man, they are just looking at a lot of replays in this game. This is a wild Game 2 of the Division II Baseball Championship Series. Joe Urso right now talking to his pitching coach, Sam Militello. Probably talking about, hey, what are we going to do in the bottom of the ninth inning now that we have the lead? C.J. Williams is in the bullpen throwing, trying to stay loose. I don't know if they stay with him or not. It looks like they would. In that ninth inning, it would be Heath leading off, by the way. Started that rally in the bottom of the eighth. What a crazy late game situation. You had Tampa take its first lead with 4 runs in the 8th inning after they had tied it in the 6th with 3. And they had, it seemed like a comfortable 8-4 lead, but Central Missouri finally getting to the starter, Jake Stipp. They scored 4 in the bottom of the 8th, tied it. They had a chance. They could have taken the lead, but they had bad base running that led to a rundown. And they ended up just with the tie. And then here, it's Saladino giving Tampa the lead. His 6th RBI of the day. Here we go.
After review, the call of safe at first stands.
So Saladino survives that.
Inconclusive evidence.
Yeah.
He may have been safe, and you have to hope that the first base umpire, Cody Allenbrand, who was close to the play, had the best vantage point. But I don't think Nico needs to put himself in a jam like that again.
Urso at the plate takes a strike 0-1. I'm thinking someday down the road they'll probably have technology, kind of like in fencing, where when you touch the guy and the buzzer goes off, there's probably going to be a buzzer.
All right.
That's what I'm thinking. Urso cranks one in the air to center field. Kriskowski going back at the track of the wall. He's got it. Tagging at second. Williams headed for third. Being waved home. Here comes the throw to the plate by Kreisel. Safe. Wow. Urso with a sacrifice to center that scores Williams from second base. That is Willie Mays-like. 10-8 Tampa.
A la Kenny Lofton, maybe in the Cleveland Indians, Seattle Mariners back in the mid-90s in the playoffs. Deepest part of the ballpark, fastest man in the country, an ultra-aggressive play, and it pays off. Williams was trying to avoid the catcher at the plate. Kyle Crooks is basically saying, now hold on a second, if we had a runner that was called out for being out of the baseline that far inside the line, why is he not out of the baseline this far this direction?
Very interesting. Good call right there, because you have Kreisel. That throw was way wide, and Heath had to go way over to his left to get it, and Williams, did he have anywhere to go?
Yeah, to me, the difference there is that the catcher forced him further out of the line. Now, Kyle Crooks does have one challenge remaining, because the missed call at first base there was inconclusive. You can't take a challenge away from somebody when there's inconclusive evidence. I don't know that this is reviewable. I think it's a judgment call if a runner is out of the baseline, if I understand the rule correctly. So Jordan is trying, and he's trying to avoid a collision with the catcher. You can see he's angling as best he can to get back to the left. The fact that the catcher was outside of the baseline and forcing Jordan that far out, I think the argument from the home plate umpire was, well, where else do you want him to go?
I mean, that play happened in Chapel Hill or something. I mean, that wasn't in Cary. I mean, they were way off the baseline. But I agree with what you're saying, that if it's the catcher forcing you to go there, let's see what they say.
Looking at the play at the plate.
Oh, they are going to do replay. They talked it over at length, verbally without looking at it, and now Joe Urso wants an explanation.
And here's the interesting part about replay again, right? So Coach Urso can say what he'd like to say, these umpires are not going to actually themselves look at the play. The video replay is being done off-site by an official who will make the decision and then tell them the information.
Well, this could be a huge call, of course, because that would be the third out, and it would take a run off the board. And that's big time when you're talking about trying to come back from one run instead of two. And here is how it goes with video review. The team has two. Head coach is the only one who can call for a review, which is 30 seconds before the next pitch to request it. Defense has to remain on the field. And from the sixth inning on, the crew chief can call for a review. We've got two crew chiefs. We have John Bennett and Conan Strobel.
So again, as I see this, Williams is trying to, without Heath moving to his left, as a base runner, you're expecting the catcher can't block the plate and is going to position himself in front of the dish. So the runner is going down the line trying to angle where he can avoid a tag with a slide in with his left hand.
He had no path.
I think he got forced out by the catcher moving up the line.
I think so. He did start way out there, too.
After review, the call on the plate is confirmed. There is no collision violation.
So the run scores, as explained by John Bennett.
The call is confirmed. That means that Central Missouri loses the challenge and they're out.
But you can ask the crew chief for a challenge late in the game.
Correct.
You still could do that. All right, so we have a runner at second base in Saladino after that spectacular base running play by Williams. Scoring on a fly ball to center. Here's Woodburn, pops it up. Second baseman, Rupi, inning over. But Tampa able to score two. They take the lead. They have a 10-8 lead as we go to the bottom of the ninth inning. The Spartans trying to stay alive and send us to a Game 3 on NCAA.com. Central Missouri looking for 2 to tie and 3 to win a national championship, going up against the ace starting pitcher, C.J. Williams, who came in the last inning. Promptly gave up a couple of base hits, but eventually got the last out of that frame. His Spartans scored 2 for him in the top of the ninth inning, so now he's trying to close it out.
I don't know if this game has been good, but it has been full of a ton of drama. And both teams have just been, feeling the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. And I love the way that they're competing like crazy. Sometimes you got to get a little lucky. Sometimes you got to grind out a game that might feel ugly. Tampa's got to win to force the if necessary game. Central Missouri scores 3. They're the national champs.
Heath started that single onslaught in the 8th inning. Leads off here as they batted 9 men. He grounds one towards the shortstop. Saladino has it, throws quickly to first, and he gets his man. 1 pitch, 1 down for Williams. Thank you very much. Bottom of the ninth. So Heath is out. Tobel and Wilcox follow him. He had 6 straight singles to start the bottom of the 8th inning against the starter Stipp and the reliever Williams. Tobel had one of them, and he's 1 for 4 in the game. For a base runner here to get the potential tying run to the plate. Williams deals. It's outside for a ball, 1-0.
C.J. Williams, what a competitor. Kid threw 106 pitches yesterday afternoon. And he's out there with everything at stake late in this game out of the bullpen.
2-0.
Next pitch will be 20 for him. Ethan Brown warming in the bullpen, so I don't think Tampa has unrealistic expectations, but you just saw Williams tapping his chest, looking at the dugout, saying, I'm good, I'm good.
Brown is a lefty, got a left-handed batter on deck. Pitch inside, 3-0 to Tobel. Tampa, 10 runs, 11 hits, no errors. Central Missouri, 8 runs, 14 hits, and 2 errors. 3-0, and that's a strike. 3-1 to Tobel. So out of the 14 hits, 13 of them have been singles, and the double was actually a fly ball that really should have been caught. 3-1. Popped up, right side of the infield. Woodburn calls off his first baseman, and he drops it. Unbelievable. The second time we've seen a middle infielder drop a pop-up. Woodburn's 4th error of the tournament, and I think he got a little bit shy there because the first baseman, Russo, was kind of close to him.
I mean, until the very last second when Russo peeled away. And look how tight they are. And then Cole goes away, and then Braden, you could see just at the very end there, he actually turned his hat. And I don't know if it's because he was staring into the sun or if it was Russo, but either way, it obviously bothered him.
You got to get out of there if you're Russo, right?
Yeah.
Would you like it if I was standing right next to you under a pop-up like that?
No. I mean, how uncomfortable.
Now Joe Urso comes to the mound. Does he go to his lefty? He is. He's going to go to Ethan Brown, the senior, in Winter Garden, Florida, to try to close this one out with a potential tying run coming to the plate in Wilcox. We'll step aside. 10-8 Tampa, bottom of the 9th. Well, the hard-throwing left-hander Ethan Brown comes out of the pen. He has a 5.06 ERA, 26 walks in 26 2/3 innings this year, 37 Ks. He'll make his 3rd appearance of this tournament and trying to close it out to send us to a Game 3.
And Brown is an excellent reliever. And I think the question for him right now is the same question for everybody else. Can you command where you want your ball to go? I mean, this kid, velocity's never been an issue. His fastball sits in the mid-90s. And he's been erratic. His whip on the season is 1.72. Wild pitches right now would be bad news Bears. Got the tying run at the plate, so don't be overly concerned about the guy on base. He's going to go get 2 outs.
Wilcox, 1 for 3 with a walk. He has scored a couple of runs. And he looked like he was taking all the way just to take a look at that, and takes a strike, and it's 0-1 to Wilcox. Wilcox drove in a run as part of that 4-run 8th inning. A runner at first, 1 out. Very short lead at first for Tobel. That's a cold strike at the knees. And he is throwing some heat. 0-2, 96 miles an hour.
Joe Urso telling all 3 of his outfielders, back up. No doubles defense. You cannot let something get over your head here.
The King is way out there in the center. 0-2 pitch. Way outside, 1-2.
Brown pitched for the Bulls at University of South Florida in 2023 before coming over to Tampa. There for a couple years, also Seminole State College before that.
1-2 to Wilcox in the dirt with a breaking ball. Great block by Irigoyen. Man, he just stepped out to his left to stop it, and that keeps the double play in order. 2-2 now to Wilcox. Droopy is on deck. Came on as a pinch runner earlier. Brown ready. 2-2 pitch. Fisted left field. Coming over is Williams, and he runs out of real estate. Count remains 2-2 to Wilcox. Chase Wilcox, the junior, trying to deliver here. Mules scored 4 in the first and 4 in the 8th for their runs. Fell behind here. Tampa scored 2 in the top of this 9th inning. 2-2 pitch outside. 3-2 now to Wilcox. Well, you don't want to walk him and put the tying run on base here. Should get something to hit. That was 94 on the gun. Tobel leads off at first base. A lot of speed, but he's taking a very short lead with a lefty out there. 3-2. Outside, ball 4, and now the tying runs are on base. And Groupie will be coming up.
How unlikely a hero Brett Groupie might seem, given that he's barely hitting 200 on the year. But he did have a pinch hit, a base hit yesterday in the 9th inning. Upperclassman known more for his glove. Let's see if he can come through.
1 home run, 12 RBIs this year with the 205 average. Takes in the dirt 1-0. He's going to be very patient, you would think, here against Brown. I mentioned the walks. Been a problem for him all year. Everybody knows that. Tobel reached on an error. He's at second. Wilcox walked. He's at first. Here comes Joe Urso. He's had another right-hander in the bullpen. He's had Fletcher throwing.
It is Fletcher coming in.
And he is going to make the change. So Fletcher marches out of the bullpen. Tampa will go to with the 4th pitcher of the game, and we'll step aside. Central Missouri trying to come back again. We're in the bottom of the 9th. Jacob Fletcher out of the bullpen for Tampa. Try to save this one. 2-run lead in the bottom of the 9th inning. Stipp, Williams, Brown, and now Fletcher. He has been the top reliever, 2.55 ERA, 5-0 record this year. Not a big strikeout pitcher, 33 Ks and 49 in the 3rd innings, but he just gets the job done.
I mean, Fletcher's been excellent out of their bullpen. It's either him or Michael Alfonso, who almost always close the games. And just worth reminding everybody that Michael Alfonso is not active for this game in the active roster, so he was never going to be an option this afternoon. That could change if they force a 3rd game, but right now it is Fletcher's time.
He inherits a 1-0 count facing Groupie with 2 on and 1 out. Tying runs on base. Groupie looked like he was taking all the way there, and now it's 1-1. Kreisel on deck. Fletcher pitched 3rd of an inning yesterday. That's whacked foul on the first base side, 1-2. Also pitched 5 in the 3rd innings against Northwest Nazarene. That was 3 days ago. Gave a 1-run, 4 hits in that one.
Hit it in the gap. Maybe it ties the game. A ground ball could be a double play and end the game. There's so much at stake here.
Tobel and Wilcox on the bags. 1-2 to Groupie. Fouled back. He stays alive at 1-2. Man, what an intense battle this has been today. It's going to be the 150th pitch of the Tampa pitchers. Doing their best to try to get to a Game 3 later on. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Groupie. Runners take their leads. Here's the pitch. Liner. Caught at first base by Russo. Goes for the tag, safe. And he wants a review. He tried to make the tag on Wilcox. It looked to the naked eye like it was a little late, but he was emphatic that he got the tag in time, which would have been a double play. Instead, out number 2 for now. Call on the field is safe. Let's see what happens.
I'm a little surprised that Cole wanted to tag the runner. I even tagged the bag. He's closer to first base than the runner is.
I think he's safe. Call made by Cody Allenbrand, the first base umpire. I mean, just looking at it live, I think safe, but I guess you never know when you start to look at slow motion. Wilcox scrambled back to first. I mean, a nice play by Russo to try to make any effort there, but he could have been, like you said, he could have tried to touch the base with his glove with a dive or the runner. Had both options.
It sounds like the look we showed you was the best look we've got. So we can go to that again here at some point. I am inclined to agree that he did not tag the runner Wilcox. I'm just surprised that he didn't dive for first base. It's very close, but I think Wilcox's left hand is in there. Russo might have felt like, hey, I got the tag on him, which is why we should ask for the review.
And it's interesting with Wilcox because you think about that. If that ball gets over Russo, that's the tying run. And Wilcox was trying to get off that base as fast as he could after the liner because he could think about trying to score if that's down the right field line.
Yeah, and you know, it's easy to be critical of somebody who gets doubled off. I really don't blame Chase there. I think that was just kind of a tough, baseball bad break, right? I mean, the line drive hit right behind you. He didn't take a step towards second base. He froze. It could just be tough luck. I am inclined to think this is going to stay a safe call, but we'll find out.
Boy, the twists and turns in this game.
After review, the call at first base of safe stands. Tampa has one challenge remaining.
So not a definitive look to overturn it.
So safe, out number 2, and now Kreisel. It's up to Kreisel, who made that error, dropping a pop-up that allowed 3 runs to come in. That was with 2 outs in the 8th inning. A definitive play in this game for sure. Trying to do it with a bat. He has driven in 2 today with 2 singles and 4 at-bats. The freshman, 9 runs on base, facing Fletcher. First pitch, fouled back to the screen, 0-1. Wilcox, he does run well, so if it's an extra base hit, he has the speed to try to score the tying run. Central Missouri, 14 hits. Can they come up with another one here? 2 on, 2 outs. Fletcher's 0-1. Down and away, 1-1. On deck is Keller. At the bottom of the order here, number 7 hitter. Vogel reached on an error. He's at second. Wilcox walked, and he is at first. 1-1 pitch. High, 2-1.
Carson Queso is throwing in the Tampa bullpen just in case. I don't think they want to go to him. I'm pretty sure you want to ride Fletcher.
He is a left-hander. Pitch to Kreisel, swing and a miss. Now it's 2-2, and Tampa 1 strike away from sending us to a game 3. Can Fletcher do it here? He's ready to go on 2-2. Kreisel swings and taps one foul up the first base side. It remains 2-2 to Kreisel. 32 hitter this season. Picks up just a little bit on the bat. Fletcher checks the runner at second. Very deliberate here. The clock going down to 8. The 2-2. Slap third base off the glove of Urso. Tries to make the tag. And he did not get him. Bases loaded. So now the tying runs are in scoring position. Urso had trouble with that. And he tried to tag Tobel, but he just didn't get him.
JD went down on both knees to make sure he kept it in front of him. The ball squirted just far enough away as he regathered. He could not get the tag on Tobel. grand scheme of things, pretty good job by Urso to keep it there. Now Joe Urso is coming to the mound. I don't know if it's to make a change and go left on left. We'll find out.
That is scored as an E5, second error of the inning for Tampa, and Joe Urso is going to make the pitching change. He will go lefty. So we are going to see our fifth pitcher of this game for Tampa now as they try to close it out. We'll be right back. Bottom of the ninth inning. Tampa up 10-8, but the Mules trying to come through with 2 outs in the ninth. Carson Casso out of the bullpen. 4.32 ERA. He'll make his 8th appearance of the year. Only worked 8 1/3 innings, 4 runs that are earned, and 5 runs that he's allowed. 8 1/3 innings, and 4 walks, 5 strikeouts, 7 hits allowed. So, boy, comes into a situation here. A guy who hasn't really pitched that much, the junior, Tampa, getting a shot here to try to get the final out to send us to a Game 3, but the Mules got an opportunity to come back in this game because they have the bases loaded with 2 outs.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't pitched this much this year or at all in his career. He's been dealing with some injuries. Took a red shirt a couple years ago. This is just the 11th time he's pitched on the mound in college baseball. He's been at Tampa since the 2020-2021 academic year. And of the 10 previous appearances, 7 of them are this year. He's got pretty good stuff. He was the 7A Player of the Year in high school at Wharton High School when he grew up in Tampa, Florida, and was undefeated as a high school pitcher as a junior and a senior. That's pretty high billing. It just hasn't worked out for him to be a consistent on-the-mound guy so far in college, and yet here he is. This is why you keep fighting through the injuries and work through all of it, because you might have a chance. And they need him desperately to come up with the final out today.
Just in case, right-handers Eli Thurman and Braden Heidel are throwing in the pen for Tampa. Here's Keller, tying runs in scoring position, 2 down. The 2-run single his last time, and he swings and fouls it back. 0-1 to Keller. Keller made a bad base running mistake in that 8th inning. Ended up with a rundown. Turned into an out and really hurt his team by going towards third base and causing that rundown. 0-1 the count. Pitch. Swing and a miss.
Joe, I am mistaken. It is 35, not 36 on the mound. That is Stefuk, not Carson Casso.
Okay, we'll go with Stefuk.
Well, that's a different story. Stefuk is a proven left-handed big reliever.
So Stefuk facing Keller. Got that right now. And he deals. Way high, 1-2. And we've seen him before. And getting to the numbers on Stefuk, 2.75 ERA. 3-1 record, 22nd appearance, 36 innings, 29 Ks. He's trying to get out of this to send us to a Game 3. Stefuk ready with a 1-2 to Keller. High, 2-2. Stefuk has runners all around. Tobel at third, Wilcox at second, Kreisel at first. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Keller. Here's the pitch from Stefuk. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That pitch was up in his eyes, and Stefuk, he throws down his glove in celebration as he ends the game with the strikeout. Tampa hangs on to win it 10-8 and sends us to a Game 3, a decisive Game 3 for the national championship later on.
What an incredibly emotional game for both sides. Stefuk gets Keller to climb the ladder. I mean, this game had incredible high highs and low lows. A great college baseball game Tampa, we talk about overcoming adversity. They give up 4 freebies in the bottom of the first. Come screaming all the way back with 3 in the 6th, 4 in the 8th, 2 in the 9th. Nico Saladino by himself, a 6 RBI game. And even though they gave 4 up in the bottom of the 8th, Tampa gets it done, and we're going to have the equivalent of Game 7. It's Game 3 in this best-of-3 championship series. And if you're at home, please do whatever you got to do to ask the rain to stay away the rest of this afternoon. We are looking at a 4:20 first pitch as of this moment for Game 3 coming up.
Wow, what a game. I mean, 2 errors there in the 9th inning for Tampa. Both teams made a lot of mistakes. The base running mistake I mentioned, the errors there in the 9th inning, the mistake in center field, the 2 drop pop-ups that we had. Lots of mistakes. But in the end, Tampa outlasting Central Missouri to win Game 2. So we had Central Missouri winning the first game 9-8, and Tampa wins the second game 10-8. We invite you to tune in and watch us at 4:20 Eastern Time for the decisive Game 3 of the Division II Championship Series. Brendan Gulick and our entire crew, I'm Joe Castellano. We will see you soon on NCAA.com.